Hello, everybody. I'm Eugene Marshall of Arcanist Press and Sigil Entertainment. This is Sigil Spotlight. We are a diverse community of tabletop industry creators spotlighting each other's work. This session, we're featuring a Savage World adventure titled Temple of the First Fire. It is by yours truly, and it is a Savage Worlds Adventure Edition adventure, and it's available on Drive-Thru RPG at a link below. There's also a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons version if that's your jam. But today, we're going to have some fast, furious fun with Savage Worlds. All right, so before we begin, speaking of fun, I'd like to thank Sigil Entertainment for supporting the stream and providing our graphics and overlays, Roll20 for providing us our virtual tabletop, and Pinnacle Entertainment for making today's fun possible. To make sure it stays fun, we're employing safety tools, so thanks to Bree Bo Sheldon, Lauren Bryant Monk, Kenna Shaw, and Monty Cook Games for providing those tools for us. See the show notes below if you want info on those. So let's get to know our players and characters. As I said, I'm Eugene Marshall. My pronouns are he, they. I'm co-owner of Arcanist Press, lead game designer for Sigil Entertainment, and I'm the GM today. Let's hear from our 3 players on the overlay, starting from the top to the bottom. That's alphabetical. Bashir.
Hi, I'm Bashir. Hi, I'm Bashir Gauss. He, him. I'm a freelance writer for RPGs and an indie RPG game designer. You can find my work at havocfet.itch.io, and you can see some of the things I've written on Kobold Press. Yeah.
Fantastic. And who are you playing today?
Oh, today I'm playing Sir Henrik.
Fantastic. How about you, Shar?
Hi, I'm Charlotte Eargang. I am half of Eargardless, a little RPG design studio. I actually worked on the Savage Worlds conversion layout. Eugene did the actual writing and conversion of the adventure we're playing today, and I will be playing Sibella.
Fantastic. And how about you, Andrew?
Hello, I'm Andrew Masisko, he, him pronouns. I'm an illustrator and cartoonist. You can find my stuff at masiscoart.com. And tonight I'll be playing Brother Lucian, who is a holy monk of the Great Renewer.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say I am she, her pronouns.
Thank you for that. Let's see. All right. Well, now that we've met our players, let's go ahead and begin. Today, as I said, we are playing Savage Worlds, and so in case anyone out there watching this live or later on YouTube doesn't know Savage Worlds, I will talk a little bit about it as we play, but it's pretty easy to get into and have some fun. So let's get started now. So let's just say, for the sake of the adventure here, that you are already know each other, the 3 of you. You're traveling together across this eastern plain of the land in which you adventure. Now, for some reason, you had planned on crossing the plain without troubles, but a series of minor mishaps has kind of delayed you. You find yourself stopping at the only way station there is out here, this monastery known as the Monastery of the First Fire. Now, you've heard of this place. It's a community of holy monks that claim to worship. They claim to worship the Great Spider. So let me make one quick technical correction real quick so that we are properly listed. Because I would hate for people to get the wrong idea that we're playing something we're not playing here. Which means updating the title. Because for some reason, when I update it in my Streamlabs, it does not push the update over to Twitch. And I haven't figured that out yet. So, because it's got the right title in Streamlabs, but not in Twitch. So, thank you for pointing that out. So, we are playing Savage Worlds, despite what the thing had said. I promise. Speaking of, you're stopping at this monastery called the Monastery of the First Fire. And guess what? It's this image you're seeing here on the screen. It is this huge rock with buildings winding around it, suspended from the heavens by giant chains. And as you look up, the chains go up into the sky, And there's a cloud bank there, and they just disappear into the cloud bank. And you've seen this it's an isolated cloud bank. It's a sunny day otherwise, right? It's a morning, you're arriving. And so this is just this kind of strange anomaly where these chains hold up this great rock above the rest of the plane by these chains that are connected to the firmament itself, you could say. There's a kind of windy, rickety bridge that leads from the ground up to the temple. And this is where you will be kind of provisioning. Some of you might have heard about this place. It has a mythology behind it about this great spider that ignited the sun, this sort of thing. But there's a whole tale related to it that maybe.
So as far as we're concerned, this is not like an evil temple, even though there's a spider involved.
Correct. So the story that you've heard is that this spider god brought the sun down to the land and gave us the daylight and ran off the darkness. And the darkness was where bad things used to happen to the poor mortals. And the great spider, seeing their suffering, climbed up these great chains, the myth goes, and brought the sun down, or brought a star down, rather, and ensconced it in a temple at the top of this rock. And so now when the sun rises, the fire of this star reignites the sun, and it can move its fiery arc through the sky every day, dispelling the darkness. And that lets mortals thrive. That's the tale, at least. Yeah. So, supposed to be a good place. Kind of odd. This is not a belief that people outside of the Eastern Plains espouse. But, hey, whatever. You've arrived. The monks are friendly. They welcome you in. They invite you, in fact, to a meal. So they, will answer questions about this myth if you're interested. But otherwise, let's just hear very briefly. Tell me a little bit about each of your characters. What do they look like? What might their attitudes be towards this myth and this monastery, or towards each other? Those sorts of things. So I guess we can start with, who would like to go first? We could go in reverse order. Let's start with Andrew this time.
Okay, yeah. So Lucian, he grew up in a monastery, and so has lived a very simple life. He is very devoted to his deity, the Great Renewer, and is all for the pious life. But he also likes to enjoy life as well. So he's not just a boring, simple monk. He likes to share a drink and share a story and get into friendly fisticuffs. Yeah.
Fantastic. So I guess that means you are. So what might? I guess you have a friendly attitude then towards the monks in the monastery here.
Yeah, I suppose he's pretty open-minded and is interested in like hearing other people's stories and their views on their faith and the world around them. So he'd definitely be open-minded.
So how about next we'll go to Sabella. Here's Sabella's art. So all of the art, by the way, of the characters is by Aaron Acevedo and Alita Saxon of Sigil Entertainment. So Sabella, tell us about Sabella. And let's go ahead and get the characters up here.
So Sabella is actually a little bit nervous about going to this temple because she is terrified of fire, because when she was a child learning all of her like magical arts, she heard all of these stories about witches being burned at the stake. And so she entered into a dark pact with a fell being in order to gain even more power, so that she would never have to fear being burned at the stake. So she's kind of a quiet woman who's just very kind of intense. She's, she's trying not to show that she's nervous about this place because, she wants to like prove that she's good enough.
All right. Well, we'll see if she is judged or not. We'll see. Finally, we have Sir Henrik. Tell me a little bit about Sir Henrik, Bashir.
Sir Henrik is a tall man who's pretty upfront about more or less being a mercenary with a knightly title at this point. He's got a pretty brutal scar over one eye, a large spear that he's got a cover over the tip of, and is using it more or less as a walking stick as they enter, and he's in armor with a tabard over it more or less all the time. He's doing his best to be like friendly about all of this, and he's reasonably like, yeah, okay, this is what things are like here. Chains are a bit unnerving, but I'm on board. He's just very bad at it for the most part. He's trying, is I think the thing to get across here.
All right, fair.
I feel like we're like bonding right now.
So, well, fantastic. So, the monks invite you to it's a simple repast, but it is satisfying, and you are just about finishing your meal up when you hear a rumble, and indeed, first you hear it, but then you feel it, because something is shaking the rock as it's suspended from chains. You feel this rumble and then a sway, right? And that's quite disturbing, actually. And then there are cries of alarm outside. What would you like to do?
Ooh.
I turn towards the nearest monk and just ask, so, this is normal here?
He stands up. His eyes are wide as he's looking out the window, trying to determine what's going on. And you ask the question. He kind of does one of these double takes. What? No, the rock does not move. What? And you hear. Then you see a shadow pass across the window, and it becomes, like dusk inside. And he says, "What is that?" And he begins to run outside. Then when
follow suit.
You want to follow? Okay, so
Yeah.
as he moves away from the window, you can indeed see that there's a darkness.
If Brother Lucian's going, I'm following him because we should stick together.
I'm following, meal in hand.
So as you walk out, you see what looks to be at first just a massive, almost like an ink stain across the sky that's moving in front of the sun, and it's growing and growing, and now it's blocking out the entirety of the sun, and you can see light shining kind of through it and glimpses and around it. It's not nighttime, but now it feels like dusk or like an eclipse. And this black ink stain is growing and larger until it's filling up half the sky. And at this point, you realize it's not an ink stain, but it is an incredibly dense, huge swarm of birds. Specifically, they look like ravens. And the rock is swaying again because these ravens are swarming all over not only the sun, but as it is almost midday, they're kind of swarming in great masses around the chains above and descending on the rock. And it is swaying. Now, the monk to which you had been speaking, one of the assistant abbots, is disturbed and says, "We must get to the temple. This," he says, "is the sign of the Raven Witch. She is come." And now you have heard this myth, again, that the Raven Witch was the being driven out when the sun lit the day and extinguished the shadow. So the monk claims...
Always driving out witches. Ugh.
Oh.
So the monk is like, "Come, we must go." And so the monks begin to run, and they kind of invite you to run along if you want. Otherwise, you can stay and observe and see how they react, how the ravens react. Let me just describe this scenario a little bit more clearly. You're standing outside of what is basically a mess hall, or like kind of a common hall. It is a low building, one-story, wooden pitched roof, and it's against the side of a cliff because you're near the bottom of this giant, almost quasi-spherical stone. And there's a sloping road that goes up, spiraling and corkscrewing around the stone. So there's a single road that they're running up to get up to the top. And you know that the temple's up top. That's what people said. And that seems to be where the ravens are congregating, and that also seems to be where the monks want to head. Now, the problem is, though, that as you turn to the right, you see that the rickety rope bridge has torn away from the mainland because of the swaying of the stone. So you seem to be stuck on here for a little while because this is several hundred feet up, unless you want to jump, which you can try if you want. What would you like to do?
That feels like a poor decision.
I'm always for a light jog.
Yeah, being eaten by ravens isn't really on my schedule for the day, so I'm going to suggest we follow the monks, as it were. At the very least, there will shortly be tremendous quantities of bird poop descending upon the rock, and that feels, well, it's definitely not going to be great for my lunch.
This is my only robe.
So, excellent. So you begin to head up the road. It's there back into the building. Although as you head down the road, there are more buildings. So many of the buildings in this area at the lower rung seem to be residences. As you glance up, you can see that the next kind of arc above you seems to be like temple grounds, right? And then beyond that, there seems to be a plateau at the very top. Although to look up, I mean, it's like 50 feet a stone face to the next road, and then another 50 feet more. It would be a climb. But you do notice that there are one or two monks that are climbing up it. There are handholds that have been carved into the rock, almost like a ladder. And so some of them are trying to do that because it would probably be quicker. As you head this way, the abbot says, the assistant abbot nearby, he says, if you'd like to join us, you can take the road or you can follow the brothers up the rock. Me, I'm going to use the balloon, he says. And he runs one building up and opens a door, and there's no roof on this building, you can see. And it's just a wood 4 set of walls, like a walled-in courtyard. And inside is a hot air balloon, a very small one, but enough to hold maybe 4 or 5 people. And he is getting into it, and he's undoing the ropes, and he intends, apparently, to ascend kind of through the swarm of ravens. And he says, this is the fastest way. So you now have a choice between you, before you. You can take the road, which would be the longest way, but safest. You could climb the stone, the kind of the cliff, which will be quicker, but somewhat more dangerous. Or you can take the fastest route, which will ascend directly into the swarm with the balloon.
I can't let him do that by himself. That's too dangerous. So I'll have to join him.
Are you crazy?
He's gonna go straight into the cloud of ravens. I can't let him deal with that.
Gonna pop the balloon, and then they'll fall to their deaths.
There's more. There's more of a chance of both of us surviving together than him by himself.
You're crazy.
You can join me, or you can scale the wall. That would be also fast.
Well, I've never ridden a balloon before, and it does technically provide cover from above. I suppose I'm joining you then.
All right.
Fine. I'll come with you.
All right. So you go through the door of the walled courtyard, effectively, and you see that there is this balloon. It's a spherical balloon tied with like a net around it to a wicker basket, effectively, that is a bit that all of you can crowd into and bear and fit. It is open, so there's a railing that's maybe waist high, but the top half of you will be open, and then there's about 8 feet of space from the top of the basket to the bottom of the balloon. There's a little brazier that's hanging between the ropes so that it can put heat up there, and he is quickly throwing kindling in there to create more heat. And then as you come in, he says, "Oh, thank you, friends. This would be a perilous journey without your help. And he's putting kindling in. The basket begins to rise. The mooring ropes, there's 2 of them, one on each side, grow taut. And then he begins undoing one of them and asks you to undo the other. Whoops.
I'm not gonna. This is crazy.
All right.
I have no idea how this. I've no idea whether or not I'm actually helping, but I will gladly follow instructions.
All right. So he is asking
Yeah,
you
so was
to
I.
untie a rope on the other
Yeah.
side, and that's not hard to do. So you untie the rope, and in a kind of uneven and jerky fashion, the balloon begins to rise. And for a moment, it's slow, but then as he turns and again throws more kindling on it, it slowly starts to pick up speed. With 4 people in it, it starts out slowly, but after 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, you've cleared the building and you're starting to ascend more quickly. As you come out, you expect kind of to see daylight, but it's almost entirely dark now because the ravens are now kind of almost encasing the whole of the temple, monastery, in this haze of ravens. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move us to a different little map so we can get a sense of what this might be like. So I don't have a great way to represent a swarm of ravens all around you, but that's so that's how we're going to do it.
All right.
So the brown circle, is that the balloon above us, or is that the actual basket we're in?
Let's say that's the basket, although that's probably a little on the big side, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's see if I can't adjust that a little bit. Whoop. Yeah, let's make this a little more.
Yeah, go away, ravens.
Yeah, it's that easy. Whoop. All right. So, yes, let's put you all crowded in here. And let me get the abbot in there, too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a token. He has the NPC token. All right. So the abbot is in there with you. So that's more like it. It's like you could reach out your arms and touch both sides at your fingertips is how big it is. So you've chosen to fly.
With 3 bennies?
Yes, exactly what I was going to recommend. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll switch into some action. So the way it works in Savage Worlds is everybody gets bennies, and I will distribute these now. So I'm going to deal 3 of these to all players, including me. I get as the GM, I get 1 per player. Do I want to do it that way? Well, we'll do that later. Weep. Okay, so you each have 3 bennies. And the way that works now is if you want to use one, you can just click on that little box or that little card next to you above your name down at the bottom. And then you can just drag that and drop it onto the desktop or the virtual tabletop. And that's like throwing your benny down on the ground, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. Now, just to remind people, if you don't know, to use bennies, you can do a couple things. You can use one to re-roll a die roll that you've made that you don't like, and then choose which one you prefer. And you can do that after you see the roll. So if you roll and you're like, no, I need to do better, you can spend a benny. And if you don't like the second roll, guess what? You can spend another benny and just keep spending them until you're out or you stop. The one exception to that is if you roll a critical fail. Now, anytime you make a dice roll in Savage Worlds, you do, if you're a wild card or a player character like you guys, or a boss, an evil foe that isn't just a generic extra, you roll 2 dice. You roll your trait roll, which would be whatever, shooting or fighting or athletics, and you roll the wild die, a d6. If you roll 1s on both of them, that's a critical fail, and no bennies can get you out of that. Second thing you can spend a benny on is to recover from a status called being shaken. So if you get injured the first time you take damage, as long as it's not a lot of damage, i.e. they don't get a raise on you, we'll talk about that a little bit as we go, you can just spend a benny and you're automatically recovered. Otherwise, you have to make a roll to recover, right? So if you really want to recover without trying to make the roll, you could also make the roll and then spend the benny, things like that. You can also spend a benny to make a soak roll. If you take damage, you can attempt to kind of soak it in without taking, absorb it without taking damage. If you don't like the action card you're drawn, So when we do initiative, we draw cards, and they go in order of suit. So an ace goes before a king, goes before a queen, goes before 10 to now down to 2. And if you don't like the card you're drawn, you can spend a Benny to get another one if you would like to go sooner. You can also do it to reroll damage. If you're somebody using arcane backgrounds, like a magic user, you can, which would be Sibella and Brother Lucian, you can regain 5 power points. You can also do it if you want to inject something into the narrative, right? And that's a negotiation, of course, with the players, the other players at the table. Of course, I can use bennies too. All right. So that's the gist. Everybody's got their bennies. So at this point, let's go ahead and... So this is going to be a combat, right? There's multiple ways to move through this space, and this one is a combat encounter. And to do that, we deal action cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add everybody to the turn order, and then I will deal you all action cards, and we'll see how everybody does. I'm going to put the abbot in here, even though the abbot is not a combatant.
He's gonna like cower.
Yeah, the abbot is going to cower.
He's operating the balloon so we don't all fall and die.
It's important.
Yeah.
I guess
we get the ravens as well.
I'm willing to give him a pass on this one.
That's kind. So I guess I will do it this way. I'll just put them up there so they have a spot that I can add them, to the turn order. And then I will deal cards, action cards, to everybody in the turn order. And so then I put them in order, and we see the order in which they've occurred. So if you can see the turn order, you now get the idea. Yes, that's a good point. You get the idea that the abbot would be going first, followed by Brother Lucian, Sibella, Sir Henrik, and the ravens last. However, Sir Henrik is level-headed.
Yes.
Yep, I get to draw 2 cards and pick which one I want.
So I'm going to deal you a second card. And I've never done it with this, so let's see. What did I just draw?
It gave him a 4.
Yep.
And what?
That's an improvement. I'll take it.
Yeah. What were you before?
2.
Yeah, that's what I thought so. Okay, so yeah, that was all right. It gives you the higher one, or I don't know if it gives you the higher one or the new. I think it just gives you the new one when I do it that way. So next time, what I'll do is I will put both of them on the table, and then you can choose. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be smarter, probably. All right. So, let me describe the scene. So you have got crowded into this basket. The basket is now ascending directly up, and as you look to the left, the stone of the wall is kind of starting to go past. You're now passing a monk who's slowly making his way up this stone wall. You pass another one, and she's going, nearing the top where the road is. And once you get to about that road level, which is about halfway up, you start to enter almost like a cloud of these ravens. And a raven is a decent-sized bird, right? It's like the size of a cat or something. It's this big. And these things are flying all around, and they start swirling around with, almost an unnatural sort of intent. And they start not just swirling around, but they now are flying and darting into the space around your head between you and the balloon. And they are starting to become aggressive. So what's going on here is you're now surrounded by a swarm of ravens, and they are not nice. And what they want to do is they're going to start pecking at you with their beaks. But there's a complication. There's so many of them that you can't see hardly anything. It's just all feathers, beaks, and talons in everybody's faces, because there's thousands of them cramming into this space. So that is the challenge here. All right. It looks like the abbot is going to just hit the deck. So let me just put a little icon that shows this person is on the ground cowering. Brother Lucian, you have drawn a 6 of diamonds, and that beats the 6 of spades. Oh, no, wait a minute. It does not.
No, it didn't.
That's weird. It didn't do it right. All right. So the 6 of spades beats the 6 of diamonds because it goes in reverse alphabetical order. Spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs. just like poker. So Sibella, actually, you are the first to act in response. So you've got a silk balloon above you. It looks rather fragile. You've got 4 ropes attaching to the 4 corners, or 4 like points equidistant of this circular basket. The ropes are standard kind of hemp ropes. They're relatively thin, so maybe be careful swinging giant blades around or throwing fireballs. Same thing with the balloon. But you also can't see because there's so many ravens in your face. What would you like to do?
I would like to cast protection on actually the 4 of us.
All right.
So that will cost me 4 power points.
Mm-hmm.
No, 5 power points.
Well, 1 for the cast and then the extra.
And then, oh no, it's only 3 extra targets?
It's only 3. If you're casting it on the abbot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be 3 extra targets. So 4 points?
Okay, so 4 total.
Yeah.
Let me just mark this down.
So, what does it look like? So, we haven't decided this in advance. What are your trappings? What does it look like when you do your magic?
So I have leaned real hard into like water and ice and kind of like but they all kind of like have this very like weird way of like moving, like they're kind of like not exactly in sync with the current time.
So are we talking like a swirling ice in water, like a sleet storm almost of a shield around you all, or?
Yeah.
Awesome. But it's out of sync.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So go ahead and make your spell casting roll. Let's see how well you do. Target number is 4. And so this will roll, I think it's a D8 for Sibella, maybe a D10. And the wild
I've got a D10.
and the wild die of D6. And so that should be a
So I think if I just click the spellcasting button,
it works.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay, so a 1 on the wild die, but that's not a critical fail. You need a 1 on both. And luckily, the spellcasting die, the D10, makes the 4. So we don't get a raise, which would have been 4 more than your target, which would have been 8. So if she had rolled an 8 or higher, she would have gotten a raise, which makes it more powerful. With a simple success, everybody now has 2 points of armor. And so that's going to be able to deduct 2 points of damage, unless it's armor piercing or something. But that's all of you now have this swirling mass of ice and sleet around you that's kind of serving as a shield that's buffeting these ravens a bit that are trying to attack you.
So you have like... Yeah.
So your toughness goes up to +2.
Yep. Total, the toughness goes up +2 thanks to the extra armor. So, if you want to change that on your sheet, you can. Otherwise, we can just try to remember.
It's
Does
technically the armor that goes up +2 in case things...
Yeah.
Ignore
Does
it.
that stack with other armor I have?
It doesn't. Protection doesn't normally stack with other armor. I don't think.
You get the higher value, I believe?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
they're
that's it.
equal, so nothing's changing on my end.
So unless you spend 2 more points, in which case it would add directly to toughness, not armor.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to do that.
Okay.
All right.
So it does stack.
Wonderful.
Just expensive. So this is a big spend.
Yeah.
But you are all encased in this extra protection now. This isn't just armor. It will soak damage no matter what. Mm-hmm. All right. It is now Brother Lucian's turn.
So, in fact, because this is toughness, you kind of... It, like, starts out, like, as the sleet storm around you, and then it kind of, like, sucks onto your skin. So you have, like, this weird shifting skin now.
Of ice.
Like, ice.
And it's like underneath your armor.
Sorry.
Very cool. I wonder, does it feel cold?
Yeah, it feels cold, but you can move normally.
All right. Well, there you go. Everyone has an icy sheen now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you don't need to be able to see the people to cast it. I don't think. Although
Uh,
they're all within. You know where they all are. You're all within touching range.
I
of
mean,
each other.
I can just touch everybody, so
Yeah.
I know where they are.
All right, so Brother Lucian, you're surrounded by ravens. You now have an icy sheen. The balloon continues to ascend, though the buffeting of these ravens has slowed it significantly.
Okay.
It's also kind of interfering with. They haven't ruptured the balloon just yet, but they are. And you all are, just to be clear, the shape of the balloon or the shape of the stone of the monastery is roughly spherical. So in order to ascend from the bottom to the top, you've had to kind of drift out a little bit. And that means that directly below you is not ground. Well, it's ground, but it's it would be a great drop, 400
Yeah.
feet or something. You're no longer above the road that that you started on. What would you like to do?
All right. Okay, so Brother Lucian takes out his relic, the bell, and with a prayer to the Great Renewer, he rings the bell, and the energy that reverberates off that fills the area around and hopefully will slow down all of the ravens. So I'm going to be using the sloth power.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to modify it so that it's a larger area effect.
Right.
So do you think a medium or large template would be worthwhile?
So around you and the whole area of the balloon is a large template.
Okay,
So
then I will do large.
I'd say if you just wanted to do the ones around the basket, that would be medium. But if you want to do the ones if you want to include the balloon itself, that would be large.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to do immediate area around us.
Okay, so medium.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4 power points for me. And all right, yeah. I'll make that roll, see if it's even. So I'm going to make my faith roll.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
All right. So what does it look like when your faith falters? Not a critical fail, but.
The bell, when it rings, it's dissonant. It doesn't sound right, and it's unsettling.
Yeah.
And so I feel that through my core, and I'm definitely not feeling reassured right now.
Yeah, so there's something about these ravens. It's unnatural. They're messing with the acoustics. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right. Something's wrong, and your faith falters for a moment. It is Sir Henrik's turn. There's not really anywhere to move here, but you are surrounded by a swarm of ravens.
All right. Mechanically, this is treated as like one swarm rather than
Exactly.
a bunch of.
It's one large swarm. You'll swing at them and hit individual ravens, but the effect is that it's one large swarm. Yeah.
I'm going to start swinging. I'm going to use my frenzy to get an additional D10 on this roll. And yeah, so I don't believe it's added in by default. So I'm just going to roll another D10 plus 2 to the roll. Yes.
All right.
So yeah, my best's a 5.
All right.
So I just uncap my spear and start swinging.
All right, so just to remind everybody, you can always spend bennies if you don't like the roll. Sorry, I didn't mention that for Brother Lucian when you failed that roll. I should have.
But I got a critical fail, so it doesn't matter, right?
No.
Critical fail is like the
double
snake
one.
eyes.
Snake eyes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my fault then.
So I just want to, before I narrate what's happening, does Sir Henrik want to spend a benny or not?
No.
Okay.
Look, do I know what's going on? No. Am I smart enough to be worried about supernatural death ravens? Maybe, but probably not.
Fair.
Do I know how to stab things? Yes, absolutely. And I am fine with basically competent stabbing.
So I think that you begin to stab, right, as you say, but stabbing a swarm is not super effective. Just because they're swirling around, you're hitting a lot of empty space, you're buffeting, maybe you hit one raven, as opposed to maybe a swinging or something like this. And so they are able to well, that you didn't beat their parry to put it in. They have a parry of 6 to put it in technical terms. So you have to match that number to hit them. So they are able to deftly kind of move around and swirl around your spear as you kind of jab into the empty air, and both of you got to attack twice, but neither managed to connect, sadly. And that means
it happens.
It's the Raven's turn, and they are swarming around you, and they are going to attack each of you with their beak. So everybody inside the swarm gets a beak, except we're going to say that the abbot on the ground. Oh, okay.
Like the abbot inside our
basket.
He's like crouched down, so he's like out of.
Yeah, they're not flying down at your feet, so he's not in range right now.
He's being smart, sense. Unlike the rest of us.
Right. So yes, as long as he's not changing, the hero gets a fighting attack against a foe immediately after he moves into reach. So I think you would get one of these.
Does it still count, considering it's like a swarm and they're kind of constantly attacking?
So I think I will say that you get it on the first round, because that's when the swarm has moved into your area, but then not every round. Right?
After that, they're like in our space.
So yeah, I forgot you had that edge. That would have been at the very beginning when they occupied the space. But that's fine. Go ahead and take the swing now. As the swarm finally engages you in particular, you can. Right. I assume you're going unarmed, right?
Yes. So I am trained in the fists, so I will be trying to just like knock them out of the air or away from me or away from the other monk to make sure that.
All right.
4 to hit.
So again,
well, actually, I think is it 5? Because I think it's 5 because I do have martial artist gives me a plus 1.
Nice.
And I think that's the only thing that adds extra on there right now. So yeah.
So a 5 again does not manage to knock them out of the air. You kind of swat at these ravens. It's like trying to swat at a swarm of gnats around your head, even though they're large. It just doesn't seem effective. You're just pushing them around with the air. It's all feathers in your face. It's kind of, it's not easy to get them away. And they then respond with beak and talon. So one on each of you.
The poop just slides off your sheen.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Well, these are, they have not yet begun to poop. Yes. So.
Really, the only thing we could ask for.
Well, won't it like freeze on our armor and robes and stuff because it's so cold?
No, but it's so cold it just freezes and drops off.
Yeah.
Well, there's no time to attach.
Slightly liquid, and it's shifting in time.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out if and when it happens. So, they hit automatically because you're just surrounded by these creatures. So it's just a damage roll. That's how the swarms work. So let's do this one's Sir Henrik, this one's Sabella, and this one's Brother Lucian. So what is Sabella's toughness with the +2?
It's a good question. 8.
8. Okay, so just beaten, but I'm sure that what is Sir Henrik's is higher than 7. Yes.
So with the +2, I am at 10, including my armor.
Okay, and I'm sure that Brother Lucian's is below or is above 3. So the swarms do not manage to kind of do any damage to. They're pecking at you, but it doesn't. No blood is drawn for Sir Henrik and Brother Lucian. But Sabella, you have been shaken by having these beaks and talons in your face. You haven't been wounded yet, but you are disoriented, and it'll take you a moment to kind of regain your footing. So at the start of your turn, you can make a spirit test. If you fail, you remain shaken for that turn, and you can only do free actions like move. You could spend a Benny at that point to automatically succeed to clear the shaken if you want. So when you get to your turn, we will have to see how that goes. So I'm going to put a little marker on your token just to remind us that you're shaken. Whoops, not that one.
So if you're shaken, and you fail your spirit roll, you can then spend a Benny to unshake.
Right.
But it's always better to try the spirit roll first because that's free.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that was the Raven's turn. The Abbot is continuing to cower, but we have a new round. So let's go ahead and clear, because we draw new action cards at the top of the round.
Right.
So I'm going to now deal. The way I'll do it is I will deal one card to. So it's Sir Henrik that is level-headed. Yes.
Yep.
I will deal one card to. Oh, I shouldn't have cleared them out of the turn order. That was dumb. All right, my bad. Moment's delay. I'm not going to include the Abbot simply because he's not doing anything.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Whoops. Let's try again. All right, and now I can deal. All right. So one card, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one card to me, and yes, and all right. So then lastly, I'm going to add Sir Henrik. Oh no, wait a minute. Sir Henrik got one.
Well, you can still drop one down on the
That's
the
what I'm going to
board,
do.
right?
So that's a 5. So you'll want to keep the 6.
I'm just going to keep the 6.
All right. So it looks like in this case, the Ravens are going to go first.
Uh-oh.
So of course, again, you can always spend a Benny to get a better action card if you want to go before the Ravens.
I will actually do that since I'm at the bottom. Yeah,
Okay.
Why not? Let's try this out. Okay, so I just click on the Benny next to, or you drag and drop. Is that what I do?
Yeah, and I went ahead and threw your new card out. So the Benny is spent. You now have 2. So there, and you have a Jack. So I don't know if I can.
Do you? Oh, you can go in there and edit it. Oh, perfect. Okay.
So it's not a heart, but that'll do. All right. So Brother Lucian, you, because you're a wild card, because you're a hero, you managed to get the jump on these Ravens and can act again before they do.
All right. Okay. So attacking them with my fists isn't effective. Too many of them flying around. So I am going to put my resolve back into my devotion to the Great Renewer. And maybe I just didn't ask the right way. And so since you said that these constitute as a one, since they're a swarm, they're like one.
Yeah.
Could I just cast it normal and target the swarm, or because they're a swarm, they need to be targeted as an area effect?
I think we're going to treat him as a creature.
Okay. All right. Then, so Brother Lucian, rewording his request to his god, will again try to ring that bell and attempt to slow the swarm down.
All right.
And in this case, I will put more force into it and make it and add the strong modifier, which means if I succeed on casting it, they'll get a -2 to their spirit roll.
All right.
So let's see. Let's hope for the best. Rolling my faith.
All right.
I like that.
That is a success. So the way
Okay.
sloth works is you have the target has to try to shake off the effects at the end of its next turn by making a spirit roll, and it is lessened its celerity and coordination. It halves its total movement, and with a raised movement, it's an action. Right? So, is there anything else it does besides stops it from moving? And it's strong. Okay, so that has to make it at -2.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, if
Well, you guys
it
are
slows
moving.
them, we're not moving.
No, you're moving, and so
Oh,
if you
yeah,
break,
so-
it'll slow it. Yeah, you might be
Yeah,
able to.
so they'll we'll leave them behind. They'll
Yes.
drop down. They might not fall, but they might.
Yep.
I guess that's kind of your decision. Like, does this make them fall out of the sky, or is this just slow them down in air?
So I think what we'll do is if they fail their spirit roll, it'll count as the large swarm taking a wound, which splits it into 2 medium swarms. And then one of the medium swarms will kind of like drop away, so it'll shrink the size of the swarm.
Okay.
Right. And it is its turn. So at the end of its turn, it gets to make the spirit roll. So let's say it automatically is going to split into 2 swarms.
So it doesn't make it when I cast it?
Oh, is it? Yeah. Duh. Of course. I'm sorry. That's to shake it off. All right. So let's do that now. It is.
And it's with a -2.
Okay. So subtract 2 from this number. A 7. So
Still.
You had to. What did it have to beat? You had to beat your.
On my roll, it was 5.
So it beat your number. Unfortunately, it has a large. The swarm has a high spirit score for some reason.
Okay.
So it manages to resist the effects of the sloth, and you feel your magic kind of like emanate out of you, but there's some kind of malevolent force. These aren't just ravens. Right? Something is directing and controlling them. These are almost like a manifestation of some evil being or force, not normal ravens at all.
Yeah.
And indeed, they respond by angrily pecking at you as well, but very badly succeed. Or a fail. They don't do any damage hardly there.
Okay.
All right. And that one is, holy cow. Okay, so that is a big.
Okay.
That's a big hit on Sir Henrik, and then let's see how Sabella does. Oh my gosh! Getting rocked. Okay.
Okay.
Good old.
That's not ideal at all.
So good old. This is the aces.
D4s.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So all right. So 17. So you have a toughness of 10. Okay, so
Yeah.
you are shaken and you take a wound is what that means, because you have 1 raise. When you take a wound, that means that you spend a Benny to soak that if you want.
I'm going to spend that Benny.
Okay, so the way when you spend a Benny to soak, you roll your vigor, and then with each raise, with each success and each raise, it reduces the number of wounds taken by 1. So go roll your vigor. Okay, so you reduced it. You have 1 success. It's not a raise, but a success. So you've reduced it by 1. You are not wounded. You're only shaken.
All right.
Oh no! Wait a minute. If all wounds are soaked, you are not shaken. Actually, so that successfully prevents the effect entirely. So you spend a Benny, and these things peck at you, but you manage to, just tough it through it, and you're still okay. Sabella, it takes your toughness was 8 with, so you take a wound as well. So do you want to spend a Benny to try to soak that?
I sure do.
All right.
What's this bonus damage on the side?
I think that's if, what that is if a damage roll was after an attack that had hit with a raise.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't apply here because
it doesn't apply
they
here.
automatically hit.
Okay.
So because normally when you make the attack roll, if you did get a raise, you then roll an extra 1d6, and that particular swarm there that got 11 also aced on the bonus damage roll.
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
All right, so I'm going to delete that out. All right,
Makes
so
more sense.
yeah, you don't add them in this case because there's no attack dice. So go ahead and make your vigor roll, Sabella. Having spent.
Oh no! I crit failed my vigor roll.
So would a crit fail on a soaked roll mean? I'm not even sure.
I don't
It's
even
like
know.
the worst situation. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
I think you actually take.
Maybe like our fall.
Take an
prone.
extra.
I think you take an extra wound. Yeah. So let me double check. I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
Although the character soaks. Actually, it doesn't say in the soak rolls section on page 96.
Oh.
It has no critical fail status.
Well, that's good for us right
Maybe
now.
just nothing happens and it just sucks.
Yeah.
So it fails. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, I think that I can, of course, decide there's an effect. But I'd say that after the beating the gang here just got on all of those damage rolls, I think you taking a wound is enough. All right, so it is your turn, Sabella, but you are shaken.
I'm shaken because I'm crying.
Yeah, I understand. This is unpleasant.
I don't even. I like ravens. Why are they attacking me?
Oof.
Oh, spirit, don't fail me now. Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Wild die.
That's great.
Raise.
All right.
Really nice.
You are no longer shaken.
Oh, I forgot to put my. It was one wound, right?
It was one wound, yeah.
Yes.
I can now act. No. Oh, there's like an unshake. So if you click the shaken like thing, then there's like an unshake.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there is.
Oh,
There's a soak
perfect.
below it too.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, but that's cool. Yeah,
Good
so
to
this
know.
is one of the nice
Yeah.
features of that
Of the roll
sheet.
20.
The roll 20. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna act now,
Yes.
and I am going to. What happens if you use an area attack?
It would depend. It will basically. You can tell that in this case, any area effect is going to include the balloon. So it depends on what the area effect is. If you're
What if I lean out of the basket and aim it that way?
okay, so if it's like a cone, that would work. If
Yeah,
you
it's a blast.
okay, then yeah, so that's fine. If you want to hit the birds that are inside the area of the basket, that would be you'd hit the balloon. But if you want to shoot out, yeah, that would work.
Yeah, there's more swarm out there, and
Oh yeah,
they're swarming in and out. I think it counts.
there's tens of thousands of these. It's otherworldly. So go ahead and blast away.
All right, I'm gonna use my icy blast. It's a It is like a sleet storm
Yes. All right.
with little spiky sleets.
So this
All
is a medium.
It is a medium blast template.
Yeah.
Every target within suffers 2d6 damage or 3d6 with a range.
All right. Well, let's see that spell casting roll then.
I'm just reading the modifiers.
Oh, sure, yeah. Lots of options. All right,
Whew.
so that's a
Yeah.
success on the wild die. And so go ahead and roll your damage, 2d6. 10, nice, okay. So that is enough to overcome its toughness. It is now splits into 2 medium swarms. So
Okay.
the advantage of that is that you're closer to dispersing it. The disadvantage is that it can now attack twice.
Oof. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So,
Ah,
yeah. Although only one of them can occupy the space at a time. So
That's good.
the other is swirling around outside.
Oh.
All right.
All
so
right.
Good,
I'm going to just target the swarm that is currently inside with my first attack.
that's
6.
That's a hit.
All right. And roll damage.
All right. So you are not able to
Oh.
overcome its toughness, however.
And frenzy, same target.
All right. So this, all right. The D10 plus 2 is definitely a hit, and that's a hit with a raise. So when you roll damage, we'll add both numbers, both the strength plus D6 and the bonus damage. So that's 9, which is
Nice.
enough to overcome its toughness. It is, but not enough. That's not a raise, so it is shaken.
Mm-hmm.
So the
All right.
swarm inside. Oops, wrong button is shaken. Let me draw a little shaken icon on it. All right, successful. Now we are back at the top of the order, so I'm going to draw new cards. And then I will draw an extra one for that's inferior to your current card, so I will delete it.
Yep.
All right. The ravens are inside are shaken, so they're going to try and make their their spirit test. Oh, I should have hit the unshaken button. Oh, well. It doesn't matter. They are now unshaken.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they will peck away one more time. And those are all going to do nothing.
You.
All right.
A little bit different.
Small mercies.
Yeah, a little bit different than last round. So the swarm
So there's less of them.
Yeah, right. The swarm inside the basket swirls around, but the ice and the blast and Sir Henrik's spear has kind of dispersed them. You get a little bit of a breathing room. It's hard. You can definitely see the ones right in your face now, but they've dispersed enough that you can kind of glimpse your companions, and they're all struggling with the same thing. But then the swarm kind of comes back in. They're not able to really do any real damage. Sabella, you've got a swarm in your face. You think there's another one out there, but you're not sure because you can't really see it. This is round 3, by the way.
All right.
Because you get 5 rounds for the protection.
I am going to blast ice again in the same direction because I don't want to hit the balloon. and hope that there's still birds out there. Okay. Blast. I can't target your tokens.
Let's see how the ye old spellcasting roll goes. All right. Oh, the wound, right. All right. So that is a success thanks to the D10 spellcasting roll. Go ahead and do your damage. All right. 6. So that is enough to shake the rave. Oh, you're hitting the ones out. Okay. So the ones out are now shaken. So both swarms are now shaken. It is.
Oh, the bonus damage is if you get a raise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
An extra D6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I know you said that already.
I think did I do these out of order?
Actually, well, yeah. I guess because it's king and queen, so
Yeah.
they both should have gone.
Yeah, I forgot. Well, no, that's right, because one of the swarms is out.
One of them is outside.
Yeah, they can't do
get
anything.
in yet.
So yeah, I did it right. All right.
Cool. All right.
All right. So unless there's anything else you'd want to try and do, Sir Henrik, and of course, just to remind everybody, you can always do multi-actions. You take a -2 on everything you do if you want to try and do more than one thing. Sir Henrik, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to keep swinging.
All right.
Let's see what we can get.
Okay, that's a hit with a raise.
Nice.
Ace.
Oh, all right. That's
12.
15. All right.
Yeah, 15 damage.
All right,
Or
so-
15 on a...
So that is a hit with 15 is 2 raises. So you you strike one of the medium-sized swarms, split it into 2, and follow through and destroy one of the small swarms that remain. I'm just going to carry that damage through. So you now there's now just a few dozen birds flying around the basket, and you can see that outside of the basket there's still hundreds. But you now can kind of have some breathing room, and the swarm around you is nearly dispersed.
I'm going to use Frenzy and try to finish off the swarm that's still inside the basket.
Fantastic. So this will just
Or
be...
actually, Brother Lucian might be able to do that. So I will try and finish off the swarm that's inside the basket.
All right. So just the fighting roll die counts, and that is enough to hit. So go ahead and roll damage. No raise, but 8.
8.
All right. So that is enough to disperse the swarm that's immediately around you. You now have Brother Lucian. There is not a swarm in melee now. There's a swarm outside, and you know that it's going to come rushing in just a moment.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do?
Oh boy, my original idea won't work now. So let's see. I will.
You can always hold your action,
Maybe.
but
That is true. Well, as I'm the last person, how would that work?
you hold it into the next round, and then it's like you drew a joker. You can just
Okay.
go whenever
Functions
you
like a
want in the
joker.
next round. So you could say, well, when the ravens arrive, I will. Right. If you
Would that work with my first strike? Since they have to move
Yes.
into our cool, then I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hold my action.
All right, so we are at the top of the order, so one more time. Let's see if Sir Henrik gets a better card. Does not. So we are at Brother Lucian. The Ravens, are you going to keep waiting for the Ravens to arrive? Because they're going to go last.
Boy. No, I guess it'd probably be best if I just do something. So I'm going, third time's a charm. I'm going to, no, I'm not gonna waste that. No. Darn. Yeah, you know what? I'll keep waiting. I'll hold my action. Yeah, hold my card.
So I'll just move you down here because I know that's where you're going to go. All right, Sir Henrik, there are no ravens within melee. There's a swarm that's swirling around you, and you can, now you're beginning to hear, not only is there the swarm, you're beginning to hear what sounds like a voice, right? In the background, from behind or within the swarm, it sounds like a kind of a alto woman's voice, like a low kind of rumbling voice, and there's a rhythm to it that sounds like almost like an incantation. What would you like to do? So none are in melee, though, Sir Henrik. So you want to hold your action as well, or do you want to try something else?
I have reach 1. Can I stab them from outside with reach?
Yeah, let's say sure. I think so.
All right, let's get to it. Leverage that spear.
All right, that hits.
6.
That's the parry.
9.
All right, that is they are shaken.
All right, and a follow-up with Frenzy, only counted... Oh, shoot, 16.
So that's a hit with a raise, so you will be adding both numbers together on this damage roll.
Okay, 25 should do it.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
So feel free to describe how you destroy these ravens.
I think I kind of grab onto the edge of the basket and hop kind of halfway out. My foot's kind of braced inside as I just sweep through this grand cloud of ravens, slicing many in half. And as they come to retaliate, I pull myself back inside and stab through again. And the ones that aren't hit are kind of scattering due to the violence of the attack and how many of their brethren just kind of died. And Henrik stands up and turns around and is like, I think that was all of them. How far to the temple, Sir good father? I'm not sure what the terminology would be here.
He referred to himself as abbot.
Good abbot.
So, he kind of does one of these and looks around, and he says, oh, good. We're approaching the tap. And, that you've dispersed the ravens enough, they're still swirling around, and they're still kind of like, it's like dusk, it's like twilight. There's so many in the sky, but you've dispersed them nearby. And, he is pulling down on one side of the rope now so that the balloon kind of drifts closer, and he throws a rope ladder out as you kind of slowly drift over a large platform that's near the top of the kind of juts out. And you can see there's this large kind of plaza. And at the far end of the plaza, maybe 100 feet away, stands this golden temple. And so he says, quick, let us descend. And when we get down there, and he throws a rope, be sure to moor the balloon or we'll lose it. So he's inviting you to go down the rope ladder, which is now kind of laying on, it reaches long down to the ground on this platform. And, it's maybe 10 feet above the ground. So you can easily scramble down and then tie the rope on. There's these large kind of loops that are attached like a railing that you can loop the balloon onto. And when you reach the ground, you see you've got about 100 feet to clear before you get to the temple. But the ravens again begin to swarm, and they are going to... you can see this is far more than you were just facing. It looks like it's just a massive number, thousands and thousands. If you want mechanicals, we're talking multiple large templates of these creatures. They look like they're headed your way, but you think you could get to the temple area, into the temple before they descend.
Time to run.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
just
bolt
sprinting
for it.
All right.
Tie that rope off and run for it.
So, in part because I like this mechanic, and in part because it's fun, we're going to pretend this is a chase.
Yes.
All right.
Jesus.
So I'm going to set this up this way, and I'm going to say that actually you guys have a little, because you made it, now I kept track, it took you 3 rounds, and that's actually fast. So you get an extra, you get 2 extra spots. So it's, if you have 5 rounds, they're right behind you, but you made it in 3 rounds. Oh, by the way, if you had taken the other methods, the climbing up the rock is a little bit slower, so you'd have to arrive in 4 rounds to get the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would run up the stairs or the road, it's the longest way, and so you get the least benefit in this sense. So that's the kind of payoff of the choice. You took the most like deadly but quickest way, which gives you advantages. All right, so if you survive, which you did. All right, so the abbot is staying behind to tend to the balloon, and you find yourself in this plaza, and you've got to run for it. So for anybody watching at home who doesn't know, or if it's been a while since I've used the chase mechanism in Savage Worlds, this is going to be a chase. And so we've set up 9 cards, and each of these cards deal, let's just say it represents, I said 100 feet, but I mean, let's say it's a little bit longer than that. I don't know. Let's say each of these cards represents 10 feet, and you've got, the swarm is right behind you. They're like 40 feet behind you, and you've got to cover, or each of them maybe represents 20 feet. You've got to cover 5 cards before you get there. And when you do that, what happens is I'll deal action cards to you, and each turn you can choose what you'd like to do. You can choose to just try to run forward, and you'll roll an athletics check against the athletics check of the swarm to see if you're able to move more quickly than they are. There are other things you can choose to do. You can choose to try to take a defensive position and flee, like evade, which will make, if they catch up to you and attack, that'll make you harder to hit. You can use other skills like turning and attacking. You can try to push them back or disperse them, things like that. So the maneuvers are called things like, you can attack, you can evade, you can try to flee, because once you get one more card in between you and them, you might try to flee, which allows you to just escape. Things like that. We'll talk a little bit more about it as we go. But for now, I will draw new action cards. But also, because you got up before you reach the top, everybody gets, except me, I should say, everybody's going to get a Benny.
Awesome.
So feel free to spend those. I'm easy with this. All right.
Okay, cool.
Oh, by the way, you can also get bennies for playing into your hindrances.
True.
As a Savage Worlds kind of thing.
Yeah.
If they make your life harder, or you're just very, you play into them a lot.
Yeah, so I made sure all of your pregens had several, so feel free to exploit those if you like. Not all of them will be applied in every case, but feel free to consult those if you want. I welcome that for sure. Okay, so we're gonna deal some cards again. It's action card time. Let me reshuffle these because it's a new situation. Or no, maybe I shouldn't reshuffle it because we haven't had a Joker yet. All right.
That is true.
And where's the turn order? I left the turn order there. Whoops. And I got to get my Ravens back out.
Aren't they on the map?
They were on the other one. Let me go grab them off of there on the fly.
Oh, because I think, aren't they on the king?
Oh yeah, they are. You're right. That's fine. I just I didn't. Yeah, I can just do that. Boop. All right.
Nice.
All right.
I like that low card for them.
Whoops. Why are they not? They're not organizing right. All right, there we go. So you are running across this plaza, right? These are slate stones. It's smooth, quite wide. It's dark. It's almost like it's almost after, it's like after dusk. The ravens here are so thick in the air that it is becoming, it's like nighttime. And you can only see glimmers of light kind of emanating periodically from the temple, the golden temple before you. The swarms are incredibly intense, swooping in towards you from behind. Brother Lucian, would you like to make an athletics check to run? Or is there something else you'd rather do?
So I can do multiple things as long as I take minuses, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast a spell and also try to move forward. Right. So the idea is that I'll pull out my bell once more, and I'll make a quick prayer again to guide us with light, turning the sound into illumination.
Nice.
And then I'll try to soldier forward and clear a path for us to move on.
All right.
So I will do either way. I have to make both rolls. So my faith first. Oh my gosh.
All right. That wild die helped you out. So
yeah.
So that was enough. You needed a 4. So you got a 7 because it's a -2 because you're doing 2 things. 2 actions.
I don't think it does anything special if it's a raise, right? On light.
It's not quite a raise because it's -2 for your running.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, thank you. Okay, and then I roll athletics for. Okay, let's hope. Okay, so I don't advance with the -2.
Nope. So
but I do illuminate the area.
Yes. So the area is illuminated, and it had been dark. So let's say that counts as everyone's going to get a +1 on their movement turns for the next until you keep that, as long as you keep that light going. When I guess it's five rounds it lasts. So that is, or no, actually I think the light lasts a long time.
Yes,
10 minutes or something.
It's going to be a while. Yeah. So since I cast that first, and you said it gave me a 1,
yes,
that 5 turned to a 6 and then turns into a 4?
Yes. Why not?
Whew. All right.
Okay.
Lucky me.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right. So does that? Can I grab my own guy and move him forward? Is that?
You should be able to. Yes.
Part? Cool.
So Brother Lucian casts the spell, and the light showing your way, you are able to spur forward away from the ravens a little bit further. Sabella, what would you like to do?
I would like to kind of abuse the barrier spell.
Abuse a barrier.
Instead of going up and down, it's gonna go make a ceiling on top of us.
Okay, I think that's fair. I'll allow that.
So it's 10 yards long and 2 yards wide in this case.
All right.
And it's gonna look like basically a giant sheet of ice that's just kind of hovering over our heads, and inside of it is swirling with like nebula colors.
I like that. All right, so go ahead and do the spellcasting roll to see how well it happens.
And the top is also spiky because I'm adding the damage modifier to it.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
So anything that touches it will get 2d4 damage.
That's cool.
I was looking for my dice. Whew.
All right.
That's good.
That's a success. And the damage is 2d4 damage to anyone who contacts it. All right. So I know I'm actually thinking, small retcon note. You had the choice, Brother Lucian, to change position as an action or a free action. If you choose action, you actually get a +2 on the roll. So you would have done even better.
Would that have advanced me even one more card?
Not one more card. It wouldn't have been a raise, but it.
Oh, okay.
That brings your total to 6 instead of 4, so it would just give you a slightly safer thing. It's mostly important moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool. That's good to know next round.
So to reiterate, when you're doing the chase, each round you can choose the change position action. If you just want to roll normally, it's free. It's your movement. If you want to focus on it, you can use it as your action, and you get to add +2 to your roll. But since you did the multi-action discount or penalty, that's like choosing it as an action. So you should have gotten the +2 to it. But
okay, that's good to know.
I forgot that. So, so Sabella, at this point,
if I just move like normal, do I move ahead a whole card?
Yeah. So it's there by they are by intervals of 1 card, and if you get a raise on your athletics, you move 2 cards.
Okay.
So you still have to roll.
Yeah.
On the free action.
Yeah, you still have to roll. You just don't get the +2 bonus.
Okay. So there's like a running thing here. Pace. I run 11 inches.
Oh, okay. So actually, this isn't a running roll; it's an athletics check.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
then.
sorry. Yeah, this isn't taking the like running action.
Whew,
It's athletics. Yeah. So
I'm so like enthralled with the spacey looking stuff inside my ice sheet that I just kind of stand there.
right. So I mean, let me paint a bit of a clearer picture here. So I described it as this big plaza, but what's the athletics going on if it's just sprinting? Let's say that there's it's not just an empty plaza. There's like a garden. So there's hedges and railings and benches and small trees, and you're trying to sprint through this area while leaping them, dodging them, and continuing to go at full speed forward. So that's what the rolls are here for. It's not just flat foot speed. And the ravens have to kind of swarm and swoop around all of these obstacles as well. So it looks like you are, because you spent time casting the spell, you're not really focusing on running. So
I like just kind of saunter forward like 3 steps.
Yeah, you've got this roof over your head now.
Yeah.
Icy.
Why bother running?
So Sir Henrik, an icy, iridescent, spiky roof erupts out of nowhere above you. This is business as usual, I suppose, when you run with Sabella. And Brother Lucian kind of sprints ahead, illuminating the way for all of you.
All right. I'm just going to full action run right now, and we're at +2, so that or +3, so that's still a success.
It is a success.
But
so you get to move forward 1 card.
And
yes, so that is what you can do.
And I've got. Let's see. Is Frenzy only melee? I need to double check something.
I think so.
For sure.
Yeah, I believe so. I just
call it
need
up real
to
quick.
actually click the thing.
Fighting attack.
Oh, any fighting attack. So actually, I will use that free dice for the heavy crossbow.
Nice.
So I'm just kind of running forward and then taking a shot behind me at
It's any one of his fighting attacks, as in rolls.
Oh, that's shooting. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. But you can still take the shot.
No, I'm not going to take the penalty.
Okay.
I thought it was free, so if it's not, I'm not going to take that penalty.
Okay. So you just do the 1 shot then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the crossbow bolt flies back, but it's a hard shot given that you're shooting under an ice roof through a park, and the bolt does not seem to do very much to the swarm. That it disappears, with a puff of feathers, but not enough to dissuade the rest of them from pursuing you. Speaking of, they're pursuing you. Where did I put the swarm of ravens?
Please let them be bad at athletics.
They are bad.
So they are all the way at the end.
Yeah, like I said, because you got the advantage of moving up here quickly. I probably shouldn't have put them at the very end because they're not going to fall off the back. But if they really botch this.
All right.
So that is a success with a raise. So they come swooping after you.
Jeez, 2 raises. Or not raises, but 2 successes.
All right, so let's go ahead and draw a new round.
Yeah.
Let's see how everybody does. Pew. Oh, we've got a Joker.
Ooh.
Let me go ahead and see how Sir Henrik does.
I can't see the other cards. I can only see.
Yeah, I can only see the Ravens. I'm not
the
sure
Ravens
what's
card.
up with the.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
the turn order only has ravens on it.
Oh, that's weird. All right. Oh, I think I know why. Let me. All right. Let me clear that. You're gonna get the black Joker, and I will. Yes, this is one of the things that I forget. That's my bad about Roll20. Is that when you roll tokens on one tabletop, and then move to a new tabletop, the GM can still see those things in the turn order, but for some reason, the players can't. Isn't that weird? So I was still seeing your names in there.
But it was from the last.
But it was from the
last,
other screen.
Page.
So I will redeal these, and I will try to.
While he's doing that, I will tell you how jokers work.
Yes.
Yeah.
A joker gives the person who got it a +2 to their action. They can go at any time without needing an action to interrupt. So you can go first, you can go third, whatever you want to do. And also, everybody gets a Benny.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. Although.
Nice.
Forgot about that.
Yep. So
Okay.
you three get bennies. I don't. I haven't used mine yet.
Everybody on your team gets a Benny.
All right, there you go. So we have Sabella drew a black Joker. Sir, oh, you know what I forgot, actually, is that the Swarm of Ravens last round drew a club card on the chase, which is a complication. So what that's supposed to do is give them a -2 on their roll.
So I'm
Oh, that's
honest. Can I suggest that what happens is when you light up your light, it reflects on something like real shiny,
And they
and
get
they're like,
distracted.
"Ooh!"
Right. In fact, I think I'll do one better. It lights up the iridescent ice ceiling.
Oh, it's so distracting.
And so a bunch of them just go swarming straight up and slam into it, taking the damage, which turns this from a large into a medium swarm.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice.
All right.
I like that.
All right. So, because they were on a diamond when they got the club action card, which means that it actually isn't a big deal. It just means if they had failed, they'd be bumped. But they didn't fail. So, but I like that anyway. All right. So, Sabella is up. You can go now, or you can hold it. What would you like to do?
I want to. So there's ravens coming in on like all the underneath.
Yeah, some of them are coming.
Some of them
Yeah,
are, like, hitting
both.
the top.
I mean, they can still get to you, but this is going to prevent them from if they get up to you, they're not going to be able to attack you very easily.
Okay.
What that means.
So what I want to do is just send a bolt behind me
All right.
and then try and catch up with everybody.
All right. So go ahead and do the. I assume you're just doing your regular free movement to change position. You're not doing an action.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need a spellcasting roll and then an athletics check. Roll.
Bolt.
All right, that's a hit.
Made it. And here's damage.
All right.
And then athletics.
So they're able to. Oh my!
Oh damn!
All right.
I'm so fast. I'm like ha, and like just book it.
So what does it look
Nice.
like when you? So the bolt flies into and much like Henrik's bolt, crossbow bolt, it disappears into the swarm with a puff of feathers. You clearly hit some raven or other, but it doesn't seem to deter the swarm as a whole, which is a narrative way of saying you didn't exceed their toughness. Sabella, however, sprints ahead. There's hedges, there's benches, there's trees, there's a fountain.
I yell parkour, and I start like doing like fancy moves over the hedges, and like I actually just run through one hedge that looks like pretty thin, and it like leaves a me-shaped hole behind it.
I love it. Very, very.
You move 3, don't you? That was 2 raises.
Oh, was it 2
14
raises? Oh my
against-
goodness.
Yeah, you got a 14, and it was against
Oh
4.
yeah, that's 3.
Well, it's the 14s with the -2, right? So
Um,
from doing
-1.
2 things, or it's just -1 from the
Yeah,
wound,
that
right?
was just my
Cool.
regular
Yeah,
move
so
action, except we made
Yeah.
it athletic.
Yep, and it's +2 from the Joker.
Perfect.
And so that's actually a 16, right?
Great.
Oh yeah.
Because +2 from Joker, +1 from Light, and then -1 from Wound.
Yeah,
which is already
but
counted
the
down.
rules are success allows you to move up and down 1 chase card and up to 2 with a raise. So there's a max of 2.
okay.
Good.
So I just look extra cool when I'm
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so everybody, yes. So Sabella takes care of business.
doing it. I'm
Yeah.
showing off.
Sir Henrik, Sabella sprints ahead somehow. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna keep sprinting after. Let's see. I'm gonna shoot and free action move. So it'll just be the +1 for Light on this vigor roll. So 5. So I move forward 1.
Oh, actually, it should be an athletics roll, not a vigor roll. So I don't know if
Oh,
your
oops.
athletics is higher. Might be the same. If you want to just use that, that's fine. I think it might be the similar.
My athletics is lower, so I will re-roll that.
Okay. +1, you still succeed. Just
Yeah.
with the same. And then you're taking a shot
so-
backwards, yes?
Yep, I'm taking my shot backwards with the heavy crossbow.
Wow.
That's 13. That is 1 raise, 2 raise. Shooting's always against 4, right?
Yep,
So that's
target numbers
2
4.
raises on
Yep.
damage.
So you both split the medium template that has come under and destroy one of it. So there's only one small swarm of ravens left. So,
Yeah, take that,
Right.
obviously,
birds.
if you defeat it, then the chase ends and you can just walk casually forward into the temple if you like. All right, and you move forward as well. So you navigate. You hop over the fountain. You duck under one of the low kind of manicured trees. Go through the hole that Sabella left in her shape in the hedge, and catch up with her. Brother Lucian, it is your turn. They're running ahead.
All right. Well, that's great. I'm going to focus on running ahead then. So that'll be giving me a +2 to my athletics roll,
Yep,
correct?
and a +1 from the
So-
light.
Perfect. So +3 altogether. Well, I'm glad I had those pluses.
Yes, so you can move your token 1 card forward, and the swarm of ravens gets to go.
Yeah.
See how they do. Okay, so a 5. I don't think they were at any minus this turn.
Oh, you said, so I pulled a club card, right?
You did. So let's see, and you
Yeah.
were on a club as well.
And I was on a club.
So that actually gives you a -2 on your roll. So you did not
So-
succeed.
Well,
Okay,
he was
that's
at
fine.
+3, -2. So he does still succeed because the wild die
Oh.
was a 3.
Thank you.
He had a
So-
+2 since it was full action, and
Gotcha.
+1 from
So
light,
many bonuses. All right,
Oh.
so you'd used your
Lucky me.
action to run to do the athletics test. It gives you a +2. You have a +1 from the light. That's +3. You get -2 because there's a complication because you drew a club action card and you were on a club chase card, which means it's a -2, which gives you +1. 3 + 1 = 4 is a success. You move 1 forward. Whew. All right.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is more math than I've ever done in a Savage Worlds campaign.
I know, right? This is, I guess,
In one roll.
I know. So it's usually just adding up all the aces, you know? That's it. That's the hard math. So the swarm of ravens is going to go, and the swarm of ravens did succeed with 1 success. So it moves forward 1. That's all it's got going on right now. So I think we're coming close to the end of the chase here.
Yeah.
And let's see if brother of Sir Henrik gets a better card. Does not. So it's actually like this. And Brother Lucian,
I'm technically second,
yep,
right?
again,
Yeah, there we go.
it doesn't, the auto order doesn't work real well with the cards.
Yeah.
So ace of
He and the
spades.
Ravens both have spades, and they're on spades. I'm on clubs.
Yeah. So
So-
Sabella, the issue is whether so Sabella has a club, so she'll have a complication. The swarm of ravens is again just going to swoop forward. This is just about outrunning them as they fly. and they don't have any special bonus, so they actually are unable to move forward. As they fly, you know what happens is a whole bunch of ravens are flying after you, and only a few of them can fit through that Sabella-shaped hole in the hedge, because that hedge was high enough to go all the way to that icy ceiling above you. So they're having to just fly through a couple at a time. It's slowing them down. Brother Lucian, you see the temple doors in front of you. You've got 30 feet or whatever it is left.
Okay. Well, I'm going to push forward, focus on just running.
All right, that's +3.
So this is +3, which is
a 7. So
a 7.
You go 1 forward.
1 forward, and that will be it for me.
All right.
Just moving forward.
Sir Henrik.
I'm going to move forward, free action, and then shoot back.
All right.
So, athletics.
Yeah, the +1 gets you forward 1.
Yep.
All right. And the damage.
And then shoot back. And
That's a hit.
Damage. 9.
All right. So it's because these ravens are flying through this small area, and they're just lining up for you so nicely. You put a crossbow bolt right through that hole, and you just it's like a shish kebab. You hit like 6 ravens, and it kind of, all these dead and dying ravens really jams up their avenue of approach. So they are so significantly delayed as to have been dispersed. So you can now, all of you are freed up to be able to head into the temple, and the chase ends. So let me show you. I think what I'll do is I'll show you the temple and set up the next little space. We'll take a quick break, because we're coming to the last couple little things there.
Sabella tried to look really cool on the last leg, but
I believe you.
like doing a handstand, and she just kind of like almost falls on her butt, and she's like, okay, I'll just...
Well, I will let you know, you drew a club, and you're on a club, which means -2.
Oh, shit.
So you fall.
So I definitely just fall on my ass.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's okay. There's no more ravens chasing us.
I think that's exactly
Yeah. No ravens to see your shame.
So you arrive at the temple entrance. Let me ping you down here. You should be able to see it. All right.
Ooh.
So let me give you a little art as well. So this is a map by Dyson Logos, and then the handout. So as you approach the temple, it looks like this. There's this great golden door. Whoops. And there's a guardian standing out front. And all of these golden chains. So you've entered this open doorway, and now you're in this large kind of atrium. It has a roof and doors, a couple doors behind you, and this great high ceiling that chains hang from, these ceremonial golden chains. And there's this great door in front of you, and this door has the emblem of a spider on it. And this is representing the great spider that they kind of worship and revere here. But there's this temple guardian standing between you and the inner sanctum, where you hear the incantation, a woman's voice emanating out of from behind that door. The monks had said there was this raven witch that was responsible, the myth being that she was one of the beings, the creatures that was driven out by the light. The ravens are blotting out the sun. There's this evil voice emanating from the temple, but in front of you is this temple guardian. And as you enter, that you see a dark, shadowy substance kind of emanate from the crack in the door, swirl around the temple guardian, and it changes. It goes from golden, it becomes corrupted to darkness.
Oh.
And the chains around you as well, several of them begin to move of their own accord. And so we'll take a quick break there and come back, and you'll see what happens with the temple, the corrupted temple guardian, and the animated chains.
All right.
I am loving the art, by the way.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So the character art is by
real nice
Aaron Acevedo and Alita Saxon, and the scenes, so like the temple guardian, the actual temple itself hanging from the chains is by Tithi Luwadthong. So great art, which is something I like very much about this adventure. All right, so we will be right back in 10 minutes, and we'll see how the team does.
Excellent.
Hi, and we're back. I'm Eugene Marshall, and this is Sigil Spotlight. We're a diverse community of tabletop role-playing game creators spotlighting each other's work each week. And this week we are playing Savage Worlds, an adventure written by me, actually, called Temple of the First Fire. This is the Savage Worlds edition. There is also a 5th edition adventure version of this, both available on Drive-Thru RPG. Shar Ergain here did the conversion to 5th edition, so definitely check that out. So far, we've had, let me give a quick recap of the adventure. We have 3 adventurers, Brother Lucian, played by Andrew, and Sibella, played by Shar, and Sir Henrik, played by Bashir. And these 3 adventurers have arrived at the Monastery of the First Fire. I'll show you the picture here real quick. And they were having a meal when it was attacked by the mythical villain, the Raven Witch. And she wishes to extinguish the fire in the temple at the top of this floating rock, suspended to the heavens by golden chains. So our intrepid heroes have rushed to the temple to try to prevent this. First, they took the quickest but by far most dangerous route, a hot air balloon to reach the top, surrounded right through the swarm, a thick swarm of ravens. But they fought their way through and reached the top alive. Jumping out, they had to run through a park and plaza to arrive at the temple, so they were chased. We used the chase rules from Savage Worlds to across this by a massive amount of swarm of ravens, and they made it to the temple and inside without being stopped or attacked by the ravens. And they now face off the corrupted temple guardian. So once more, because again, this art is really worth enjoying. So this art is by Tithi Luadthong, and here is what the temple looks like for those people at home. This great golden door with the spider, the great spider that is said to have brought down the star that illuminates the fire at the top of this temple. Worshipped here, emblazoned on the door, a guardian in front of it, the chains that represent the spider's webs hanging from the ceiling. But unfortunately, the guardian is corrupted by the shadow of the Raven Witch who waits within the temple. And that is what they now face. So, it looks like we're about to have some combat. Is everybody ready to resume?
Yep.
All right. So this is what it looks like for me, and for those folks at home, this is what it looks like for our adventurers. Whoops, I just moved Brother Lucian forward. Sorry about that, Brother Lucian.
I like how the lighting changes when you move him now.
Yeah, Roll20 is fun that way.
So it is the only light you see that exists in this place right now is the light spell that Brother Lucian cast earlier. Actually, so why don't I make that? Let's have a little fun with that, in fact. And do that.
How many more rounds do I have of that?
It lasts for a long time, like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm going to make a quick change to the sheet because you mentioned this. It is a fun feature. So I'm going to turn off what's called global illumination for those of you who are Roll20 people at home. And now it should look a little different to you. You can now see that.
That's excellent.
So the light of your spell illuminates the area around you brightly, but as it recedes into the darkness, it becomes more dim. And it's because there's the sun, it's daytime, but the sun is being blocked out by an unkindness of ravens out there, so thick that the light cannot penetrate, conjured most likely by the Raven Witch within. So let's go ahead and deal some action cards, shall we? All right, and then let's see if Brother Henrik can beat his 8. Not this time, because he is level-headed, so he gets a chance to go more quickly. And let's make sure that didn't work. Try again. There we go. Still didn't work. All right. So the queen goes before the jack, 10, 8, 5. All right, and the spade goes before the diamond. So you find yourself facing off with this temple guardian. Two of the many chains that hang from the ceiling seem to animate, swirling around like the heads of snakes. The Temple Guardian has weapons drawn and is striding forwards towards you. Beyond is your destination, the inner sanctum of the temple. What would you like to do, Brother Lucian?
Or Guardian corrupted. I will. It is supernatural Guardian, right? It's not like a person that's been corrupted, right?
It's hard to say from here, but it looks like inhumanly large. Right? This is like an 8-foot tall creature.
Okay.
It looks like a gigantic suit of armor.
Okay. All right. Then I will take this chance. How does distance work in the...
Each square is 5 feet. Or
Okay.
6, actually. This is Savage World, so each square is 6 feet, is 2 yards. I guess I can change that on the thing that has defaults. So each square should be 6 feet. Can I change that? Here it is.
No.
There you go. Each square is 6 feet, so the measurement should work the way it's supposed to.
So like this is as far as I could go with a normal...
Your pace is 6, so you can go 6 squares.
All right. That would illuminate everything for everyone else, but it would also prevent me from attacking them because they're out of my range, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
you could reach.
Since I can't attack.
You could reach the animated chain on the right instead if you want.
On the right.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to confront that main guardian. I can't go for the small fry, unfortunately. So I will move forward.
All right.
And with words of prayer and another ring of the bell, I will attempt to still the soul that's in here and slow them. So using the sloth power again.
All right.
But focusing it on just the Temple Guardian. I'm going to spend a Benny to get more power points.
Okay.
So
that gives you 5 power points back. Go ahead and throw that Benny out on the table, and I will take it from you. All right.
That's that. And then I'll make my rolls. So I think add that 5 power points on there.
Yes, for sure.
Just to subtract them again. With Sloth, I'm going to spend the extra point. So if I do succeed on casting it, he gets a -2 to resist it.
All right.
So it's going to cost me 3. And here's the roll. I like that roll.
Oh, that is a raise. So let me double check and make sure I know what Sloth, because I keep getting the impression that what Sloth speed does is it slows their movement. Is there anything else it does?
The raise movement is also an action. So this means it will force him to take either 2 actions to move and to do something, which means it's like a -2 to everything already.
Right.
So like I guess since I got a raise, it's the most advantageous because now if I keep moving away from him after I attack him, it forces him to like
choose,
move and attack and get minuses to everything.
All right.
So
and it halves its movement. All right. So it says the target will attempt to shake off the effect at the end of its next turn. So
doesn't it still get or does it automatically?
I think it automatically
activates?
affects it. Yeah, you succeeded on the roll. It is just slothed until the end of its turn. So you ring the bell, and you see this kind of weight as though settle on this creature, and its striding forward seems to slow down. In response, however, this animated chain shoots towards you, and I don't think I have the animated chain sheet up, do I?
I will use my first strike on that one.
Absolutely. Take a whack. How dare it?
Okay.
You get to do that before it goes.
Yeah. What do I got? 6. Do I like that 6? Yeah, let's stick with it. Let's not spend anything on that.
6 beats the parry. So go ahead and
Wonderful.
this is just an extra. It has a parry of 5. So go ahead and roll damage.
All right, unarmed strike.
It also has a toughness of 5. Oh!
Ooh, nice.
Okay, well...
As it swings at me, I just...
It does not have... It's an extra. It is not a resilient particular thing, so...
So with like one strike, I slice the chains in half.
Nice.
You shatter these chains as though they are brittle, glass, not heavy iron, as they in fact are. Your fists like steel. All right. That was effective. Sabella, Brother Lucian has gone and put himself in danger again. What would you like to do?
Oh, Lucian. Well, the Temple Guardian is like also slightly on fire, and therefore I must murder it.
Fair. We don't like fire.
Fair.
It's coming to. It does seem to want to give you a hug, Sabella.
But since wait, my token's like behind my name on the.
Oh yeah, sorry.
All right, so let me see how far I can go.
You could get.
One,
You can move 6 squares.
3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like I've got line of sight from there. Or I could go here. What if I go here? Yeah, that's better line of sight. Alright. Whoops. Gotta switch tools. So I'm like... Okay. Oops. This one. Just diagonals. Hooray. Alright. So now I am going to shoot essentially an icicle at this jerk. Because I don't like him at all.
How rude. How rude is it for being on fire?
I know. The nerve of some people.
And I am going to do extra damage because screw this guy.
All right. So it's a ranged attack. Or that's your spell. So you succeed in casting your spell. Go ahead and. Oh yeah.
So this will just add this extra bonus 1d6 because it's 3d6.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. That is a good hit.
That is a really good hit.
18 points of damage. So its toughness, it's tough. So that's only 1 raise.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is an armor piercing, right? This is just regular.
Let me see.
Because it's basically a suit of
No, it
armor.
doesn't say anything about that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yes. So it is both shaken and wounded. But this is, again, speaking meta, this is a wild card.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't fall.
So it does not fall. It has
Boy.
a wound. Wait a minute here. I should remember something else.
Oh yeah, you can try and soak it with your bennies.
No.
Magical damage
Oh,
is
no.
reduced by 2 because it has arcane resistance edge. 1816. That's still...
It doesn't take a wound.
It doesn't take a wound because it has a toughness of 13.
Unshaken.
It's shaken.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a bad
This
boy.
means...
Alright, so that cost me 5 power points, and I'm gonna spend a Benny to get 5 more power points. So
That's smart.
there, now it cost me nothing.
All right, so he is shaken. I will make a little shaken mark on him. All right, so you shoot this blast of ice, striking into this creature, and it does look kind of like it's on fire, but what's strange about this is that the flames actually don't emit light. They almost seem like burning shadow, right? So the ice strikes into it, and it stumbles back a little bit, but seems otherwise unperturbed. It is its turn.
Boy.
Now, it can only move a little bit, thanks to being slothed, and it would have to take an action, actually, to do so.
And it's shaken, so it has to unshake before it can do anything.
So I'm going to use the
Yeah.
unshake button on this bad boy. Let's see how that goes. And succeeds. Oh, I accidentally rolled it twice.
But it succeeded anyway. So
Yep.
it's
All right.
Yeah.
So it's not shaken anymore. It has. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. It is immune to. Okay, that doesn't affect it. It has nothing to do but walk slowly forward. Unfortunately, it has only a melee weapon, and so it is going to do so.
-2.
And so that's going to be -2 on its take an action to move, and then it's only moving 1. So then its multi-attack or multi-action choice is going to be to swing its. Whoops, where's the? Oh, I was clicking on the wrong button. Just a moment. Do. Oh, that's why. All right, my bad. Pardon me. All right, so this creature you can see it's like dragging its feet, right? It's slowly pulling itself forward, unable to shake off the the difficult weight that this sloth spell has cast upon it. And it's got this sword that it lifts up that I just now realized I had not programmed into the macro, which I'm going to fix real quick. Which it swings. It's going to do that with fighting. At Brother Lucian, but only rolls a 5.
Okay,
So-
since that is against my parry, which is a 7,
It's a miss.
it's a miss, then can I counterattack?
You may.
All right.
Go ahead and throw the language of that in there if you've got it by clicking
Yeah.
on a little.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So counterattack when someone misses an attack on me.
A failed
Yeah,
fighting
like a
attack,
fighting-
you get to
fatal
take an
fight.
attack. Yep.
All right. So then I am going to send a few fists his way, and let's hope for the best.
His
That's
parry
a
is
8.
that hits. His parry is 7.
Oh my gosh, so lucky. All right, damage for that. How do I roll for damage? Do I just? Oh, I can just click on the roll damage
You
button.
can right there.
Oh well, that's nothing.
All right. So
Okay.
you do. So this creature swings this sword, crashes into the stone at your feet as you step aside, and you punch. But it's like hitting steel,
Yeah.
as Rocky once said. So you punch this creature, and it's just punching a suit of armor. Clang. You don't hit hard enough to
Ooh.
affect it.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Sir Henrik, it is your turn.
All right. I can't quite get into melee, but I'll move up here and take one shot with my crossbow.
Yeah. You can choose to get into melee if you run. You roll the 1d6 pace die, which even if you roll a 1, you'd get there. But then it's just -2 on your attack. That's your-
Yeah, and I think I'm better off taking the shot here.
Okay.
Especially because my crossbow is armor piercing 3.
Oh, nice.
Oh, perfect.
And that hits.
5 hits. Damage.
All right, so that's 6 damage, and it's 3. Let's see if that beats its toughness. Unfortunately, its toughness is 7. It's base toughness.
Ooh.
And it has 4 armor. And it has a +2 because its size is 2. This thing is like 8 or 10 feet tall.
Ooh.
So it actually has a
okay.
toughness of 9.
That's
Mhm.
ridiculous, man.
It's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's a big muscle man. All right, so
Let's spend a Benny to try and reroll damage.
you could.
Oh, yeah, actually, I will go ahead and just do that.
All right. So only the 2d8 die counts, not the bonus, because you didn't get a raise on the attack. 7.
Ah, 7.
Okay, but that
Okay.
yeah. So you needed a 9. So
Yep.
Close.
that won't do it. But that's okay. Go ahead and throw that Benny out if you haven't done so already.
Just did.
Okay, great. And then there it is over there. I didn't see it. All right. So it is now the one remaining animated chain's turn, and it lashes out at you, Sir Henrik, and it tries to grapple you. Where's my animated chain? Here it is. So it's going to make an athletics check to try to grapple you, and it's going to be contested by yours.
All right.
So there is its attempt to grapple you. The number you need to beat, so it successfully attempts it, and the number you need to beat is 6. So that's your target number. You can roll athletics, or you can roll strength with a -2, your choice.
I'm going to go with strength if I need to beat a 6. Oof.
Unfortunately, you do not.
0 and a 3. I do not.
So
I am grappled.
you are grappled, which means you are, I believe grappled means, I have it right in front of me. My mouse is being slow for some reason. You are entangled, which means you are not bound, because that was not a raise. Oh my gosh, why is this going so slow?
Can't move and is distracted.
Yep.
As long as it remains. So distracted means
-2.
-2.
Yep. So you have a -2 to all your actions, and your movement is 0. Your pace is
Got
0.
it.
All right. Brother Lucian, there is a Temple Guardian here swinging at you. What would you like to do?
Okay. So I forget. Stepping back away from him, does that incur any attacks from him?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 actions. My first action, I am going to send a flurry of blows out in the attempts to distract him.
All right.
Is distract the right one I want to do? No. Make him vulnerable.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt that, and then in hopes that when I strike on my actual final blow, that I can break through the defense and get in there. So I'm going to use fighting against his agility.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a test, as they call it.
Testing his.
You're using a test
his
against
ability.
him, and so it's your ability 6. So that's a 6. You had to beat the target number 4 to initiate the test, and then he gets to roll his agility, and he has to equal or beat that number, and it's kind of like an innate instinctive response. He only has a 1d4. He's slow on his feet, so you succeed in distracting him. Right?
Okay, so he is now vulnerable, which means attacks against him gets a +2.
And this is a multi-action event, right?
Yes. Oh, so that was a -2 on my roll, which is still okay.
Yeah. So you rolled a 4, he rolled a 3.
Yeah.
So you succeeded. Now you can do your attack if you want.
And it will be at no bonus, no minus, because they cancel each other out.
Yep. But he is distracted for the round.
Yeah, and everyone else gets that bonus.
Right.
So, oh well.
You want to spend a Benny?
I'm going to spend a Benny.
All
I'm
right.
definitely going to spend a Benny. So I'm going to drop that. I'm going to re-roll this in hopes that it does something better. Not really.
Not really. No, the number you needed to beat was 7.
Do I want to risk it? I have 2 more. No, I'll let this one slide.
Okay.
I won't spend any more bennies, but I'm happy that he's vulnerable now. That helps everyone else out.
So you get in there and thwack, 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 and it just looks down at you. Seems to be confused, leaving it vulnerable to attack from everyone else. For example, Sabella. What would you like to do?
I would like to try casting Dispel on the animated chain.
Excellent. Go ahead. All right. Woo! That is successful. So, where did I put this? Let me bring up the languager because it is vulnerable to such things.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful.
It has to make a test or I'll get there in a minute. All right, so it has to make a spirit check or it falls inanimate.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Fail.
Fails.
Nice.
So what does it look like when you dispel the magic that's animating this chain?
So the chain seems to just freeze for a second and flicker out of time, and when it comes back, the version that came back is just a chain.
And then it just hangs limp and swings with its remaining momentum back and forth, entirely unraveling from Sir Henrik and leaving him free to move about the temple. At this point, however, the Temple Guardian, no longer having to move anywhere, stands there, but it's going to swing. Now, it's distracted, which means attacks against it get a +2. Or no, it's vulnerable. That's right. So attacks against
it's vulnerable. It's not distracted.
It's not distracted.
Yeah.
So it gets to swing normally at you, in right in front of him, and that's going to be a bad. Wow, that's a miss. So
I'm
again,
going to do that counterattack on him.
Another crash as its big heavy sword comes down and does little to nothing but mar the ground at your feet.
All right, I'm going to take my counterattack on him now.
Yep. All right, that's a hit.
That's a hit? Okay. I should have rolled. No, okay. All right, so since I rolled fighting instead of unarmed attack, I'm going to roll an unarmed attack and then roll the damage off of it. So
fair.
Ignoring that roll right
there. I don't know.
I know.
If you should do that, but okay.
So five damage. So it's another piddly, like, punching metal.
Sadly, even if we had used the unarmed strike, you only get the extra 1d6 bonus damage. And that would have been 9. Its toughness is with armor is 13. So you wouldn't have been able to penetrate it.
Oh, man.
I know. All right. So, Sir Henrik, you are up. The Temple Guardian continues to swing its massive blade down at Brother Lucian. Hasn't managed to connect yet. Brother Lucian, meanwhile, it's like working a body bag over there. Punching its iron belly. What would you like to do, Sir Henrik? You are about 12 feet, so 4 yards away. You could easily move there. Bashir?
Yeah, sorry. Got a message I need to look at. I'm
Sir Henrik.
going to... Let's see. So I'm no longer distracted, so I'm going to move up here and just start stabbing this. And we are...
Yeah, you have reach 1, actually, so you can get it.
Oh, wait, that's down here.
All right.
That's not great.
But...
I'll spend the Benny on that.
So...
Oh, wait, sorry.
I was going to say, that is actually a crit fail.
Yeah.
Oh!
You rolled a 1 on both dice.
Hey, that's not good.
So, a critical fail when you're attacking, there's all kinds of fun things this could be. Let's see, what would we like it to be today? How about when you're critically failing this attack, I think that what do you think might happen? Do you have an idea for a fun one?
Not off the top of my head. It might, grab the spear or get in a counterattack if it has reach.
I think those are good ideas. I like those. I think that the attempt is going to backfire. You swing your sword or your spear, but you overreach. You miss it. The blade glances off the metal, and you kind of get pulled forward. I'm going to say, actually, and the construct has been swinging the sword with its 2 hands, but it just reaches one hand down and smacks your spear, causing you to kind of fall forward. So I'm going to say you fall 1 inch forward, but you are knocked prone.
All right. Do I need to take an action of some sort to get up, or can I just do that as part of my movement?
Sure, you can stand up. That's fine. That kind of negates
All right.
it, but that's fine. Let's say yes. But now you are within melee range of the creature.
Yeah, I will use my frenzy dice to swing again.
That is also not going to hit. Luckily, the wild die didn't crit fail this time.
Yeah.
And so this creature, you're having bad luck, right? So you jab the spear forward, it glances off, it smacks your spear down, causing you to drop to forward onto your knee. You stab up at it as you stand, but can't manage to penetrate its thick armor. This creature is giving you some trouble. Yeah, everybody, you guys are rolling really poorly. But let's see how it goes this time. Extra one for king of
nice
against the Ravens, so we had to roll badly this time.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
this had to be the tough
Did we
one.
do well against the Ravens? I'm not sure that's how I remember that going.
You did well
For
against
the first couple rounds of that fight.
the chase. You guys did well. Now, Sir
Yeah.
Henrik, you this angers you, right? The fact that you've been so unable to face this creature the way that you know you can. You're gonna go
All
next.
right. I think I'm gonna just keep swinging since I feel like that's my best option.
A solid
12
hit.
on the wild dice. Does that give me a raise?
It does.
Carry 7, right?
Yep.
All right. So let's see.
All right.
11. I will reroll down. I will spend that Benny to reroll damage.
Go ahead. All right, that's good. It is shaken again. It is so it's off kilter. You've got it off balance. So you strike hard enough. You don't manage to pierce through the armor, but you knock it so it's off balance on one foot.
Yeah, and I've got that frenzy dice.
Oh, another hit.
For
Not a raise this
9.
time, but a hit.
Yeah.
This
only
one,
for 2.
unfortunately.
That doesn't do anything.
You gonna spend a Benny? You can.
You know what? Sure. This feels pretty climactic.
Oh, there you go. All right, so you strike it, and that actually is the number you needed. So it takes a wound.
Wonderful.
All right.
Darn, I wish I had taunt.
I know.
Oh wait, we still have the +2 from distraction, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no,
That's to
that's-
attack. That's to attack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
not
that
to-
meant that I got the raise on that, which brings it to 13, which doesn't change anything.
So I'm going
Okay.
to. It has one wound.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do this? I think I do it like this. All right. It's shaken with one wound. You guys all see that little one on it? I don't know if that's visible to everybody.
Oh yeah, it's a little red one.
Yes.
Yep. All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, so Sir Henrik successfully so you ram the spear into it. It's off balance a bit, and then you hit the same place you'd left a dent, and your spearhead pierces through its armor. And what you strike inside, there's not flesh, right? You actually poke a hole, and you see that the armor is empty. But as you do so and withdraw your spear, kind of black smoke sort of slowly starts to pour out of the creature, and it kind of like lurches a little bit as though it's been injured. Brother Lucian. Sir Henrik has struck a serious blow on this creature. It is.
Oh wait,
shaken.
I think we skipped a.
Oh, Sabella.
skipped
Yes, there you go. My bad.
Sabella. Yeah.
Sabella. Sir Henrik has given a serious blow to this creature. What would you like to do?
I am going to. I'm gonna try a higher damage bolt.
All right.
So this is 3d6 instead of 2d6, and if I get a raise, it's 4d6.
Awesome. Let's see the spellcasting roll. Yep. Unfortunately, you can.
I got a Benny.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can spend a Benny on that one. You've got 3 of them still. Try that roll again.
Okay, go away, Benny thing.
All right, that is a success.
Ice bolt.
So the ice bolt shoots out of your hand, striking the temple guardian. Let's see what the damage is. 9. All right, so.
10 technically because of the.
Oh, right, yeah, extra amount. All right.
Oh wait, do we get +2 to attack him?
You do,
You did,
Then
yes.
that's a raise.
because it hasn't had its turn yet. So go ahead and roll one more d6.
And then one more d6.
Okay, that mattered because
sweet.
before it wasn't
perfect.
enough, but that is enough to do another wound on it.
All right.
Take that, Temple Guardian.
So the ice bolt shoots out of your hand, slams into this creature, ripping open the armor further, and now black smoke is pouring freely out of this thing, and you can see it's starting to hunch and shrink down. Now, Brother Lucian, it's your turn. The Temple
Right,
Guardian is no longer vulnerable, I think, because it's the end. No, it's still. I don't remember. How do you get rid of vulnerable? Does it have to?
So I think it only lasts for the round.
Yeah, I think it's over now.
At the end of his next turn.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
he's
it's gonna end at
vulnerable
the end.
through his turn.
Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
vulnerable until a minute.
Mostly matters if you use distracted, because then they're at -2 to their actions.
Right.
And including unshaking.
Yeah. So I still get the bonus.
Yep. Go ahead.
So you say that like darkness is pouring out of him. Could I cast light on his insides? Like within the armor?
Yeah, I think you'd have to stick your hand in, but yes.
Okay. All right. So I think how this would look like is that Brother Lucius pulls out the bell again and rings it and like makes his or like recites his prayer, and like the sound of the bell like resonates through his body, and then he goes for a like defining strike with his fist, like aiming for like one of the joints in the hopes that he'll get inside and release that energy, that sound that turns into light inside him.
Awesome. Let's see the spellcasting roll.
All right, let's hope. I got some bennies, so I'm feeling good. I'm gonna have to definitely spend the Benny on that one. All right. So yes, that was a good. All right.
So
good.
with a raise as well, how about you? Not what you do is you actually your hand begins to glow with this sound turned light, and you jam it right through the hole that Sabella had just torn in its chest, and the light releases, and it kind of goes. It leans back. Its arms go out. Light is now shooting out of its eyes and its mouth. Then out of its joints, it shakes, and then the armor collapses to the ground, empty,
That was amazing.
defeated.
Nice.
All right.
Well done, Brother Lucian.
So
Very impressive.
I kick it.
it clatters around on the floor.
Good.
Now, before you are these great golden doors, and within, you're starting to hear the incantation reach what sounds like a crescendo, like it's building and becoming louder and faster.
Well, I believe we've only one real option ahead of us if we want to get off this rock alive. I'm going to stride forward and kick open the door. Or push open the door, depending on... It's a pretty big door, isn't it?
It's a pretty big door, but you can give it a push.
All right,
Together
yeah.
we push against it, opening it up.
All right. And within, there's an antechamber and a kind of vestibule at the far end. You see a being that looks like this. Let me give you a piece of art. She turns, whoops, wrong button, and looks like this. This kind of semi-humanoid shape of darkness with these, it looks almost like tree branches / horns sprouting out of its head, and it's swirling with shadow. You get the impression that there's like a actual person inside of this shadowy form that you see. Indeed, it turns to you and it speaks. So, inside this place is, just to be clear, so we've got it's a golden shrine. There are motifs of the sun and the stylized spider. There's an image above the vestibule of a spider carrying the sun on its back. But what is most interesting here is that there is, in the vestibule, there is a very bright, so bright you couldn't look at it normally, light hovering above a pedestal, but it's surrounded by like a sphere of liquid darkness. This creature here is shooting this stuff out of its hands and filling this area. So it's as though it's trying to suffocate the light with its shadow, right? So this is the star that is alleged to have been brought from the sky and is this source of light in this temple, and she's trying to extinguish it. With one hand forward, she turns and looks at you and says, she speaks, and her voice echoes, and it doesn't sound as though it's coming from any specific place. It's as though you can hear it all around. She says, "You shall not stop me. Once I have extinguished the fire, I shall eat your flesh and that of all humanity." And she then turns, pausing, if you will, the ritual. "Very well, I shall take care of you first." And the black, inky darkness around that light kind of wobbles and warbles, and you can tell it's containing the light, but the light's trying to fight to get out. The light not extinguished yet. Her ritual not yet completed. And the shadow flies of her body, slowly flies off of her, so it's like kind of melts off of her and forms a giant black raven that then takes to the sky and flies right into the light, striking it, and then the light starts to shrink again. So you get the impression that she is kind of like endowed this shadowy ward that she's put on the light with some of her essence, weakening her. And now she looks like this. You can see that beneath the shadowy form was something humanoid. Looks like that. The shadowy raven kind of coming off of her, swooping in and striking the sphere. And so now she strides forward. She got these big horns and a cloak, and she puts her hands forward to engage you in combat.
All right.
And that means, of course, we're doing action cards again. One last time.
Huzzah! Oh, I forgot to move forward. Whoop.
So let me do that. One card to all players. Bam. Oh, wow. I bet you Sir Henrik will do better. We'll find out. An ace.
Nice.
Nice.
Perfect. Good.
All right. So
as of now, we can't see where she is on the map.
can you not? Oh, wait a minute.
Because of the lighting.
So either she's not on the map or she's not in our range of light.
Oh, that's weird. Let me see.
Which considering...
Oh, how weird. Oh, I know why. My bad. I'm sorry. I forgot to turn this on so that it's illuminate so that you guys can see it. Because she is emanating an eerie glow. So let me go ahead and give her that so that you can see it, because I forgot to do that. There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So now if you scroll up, you'll see her in the next room. To the north.
Yeah, I see it.
However,
And
something happens before anything else goes. Mm-hmm. She raises her hand and she says, "Serve me." And look around, and the vestibule around her is, now that she's begun to glow, has dead monks in it. 2.
oh,
And they rise. Their corpses rise and begin to shuffle towards you. Let me go ahead and reveal them. And let me go ahead and add them to the turn order as well.
so good.
They're going to go on the same turn as she, though. But I'll put them in there just so I can remember to move them. All right.
All right, so
It is Sir Henrik's turn.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I can even run in to get into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
If you...
Yeah, I need to roll really well on that.
Yep.
I'm going to take a crossbow shot at the witch.
All right, take a shot.
Okay. 15.
Wow, well, that definitely beats the target number of 4. And with a raise...
that's 2 raises. I'm not sure if the additional raise does anything.
I don't believe so, sadly.
So 13 damage coming at her.
Okay, well, she is shaken. That's,
AP3.
That is a successful... let me see. Let me make sure, though. She's got this. So it subtracts 2 from every ranged attack. However, that doesn't matter in this case This strikes her and leaves her shaken.
All right.
Yeah, good hit.
Toughness of at least 9. Very good to know.
All right. So that was a successful hit. Is that everything you're going to do?
Yes. Yeah, I moved up, I took my shot, and that's
Can you take a second? No, it's not. It's only for fighting, we decided, for Frenzy. All right, so Sir Henrik darts forward, crossbow level, sticks it right in this Raven Witch, and she kind of pulls back, seemingly shaken. Brother Lucian.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna move forward. So that 6 is right up next to him, and then I will put myself in front of Lucian, or not Lucian, in front of
Sir Henrik.
Sir Henrik.
All right.
So I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Is there a button for run?
I mean, if you're just going one square, you don't really need to roll it.
Well, no, I'm gonna go. Well.
Oh, it depends how far up
Yeah.
you go. I'm sorry. I thought you meant immediately in front of him, which was
Yeah.
Go ahead, sure. Roll the 1d6. I don't know if there's a separate button for running dice. I'd have to look at the sheet. All right, so you can go 3 more squares, 3 more inches.
So this should slow down any guys, allowing Sir Henrik to fire at them. Mm-hmm. So I'll take the lead in here, and then I will stop right there.
All right. And that's all you're doing?
That's all I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Okay. Sabella, your fellows have charged forward. What would you like to do?
Sabella's a little conflicted. On the one hand, the Raven Mocker Witch is trying to extinguish this fire. So that's cool. But on the other hand, she wants to eat us all, which is not cool. So, I mean, I gotta go with the attack the witch.
Cannibalism, traditionally a downside.
Yes. That counts as a con.
6. All right.
Let's see what it looks like for you guys.
I am going to see if oh no, I would have hit you, poor brother Lucian. I mean, how much do you mind being hit by ice?
If I'm willing to sacrifice my body for
the cause?
For the cause, for those around me, if it means that innocence will not be hurt, I will definitely take the hit.
Well, you still have my little protection, so in theory you'd be all right.
Now,
I'm trying to
do
both.
we?
Yeah, because it lasts like
5 turns. It's gone.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
I thought we made it before 5 turns.
Well, I mean, it's been 5 turns since then. You cast it in the balloon.
Yeah,
Think about the combat.
Yeah, that's true.
With the Guardian.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then there was the chase.
Yep.
So
don't worry about me.
All right.
So just to be clear, if you want, so this is a general rule for power modifiers that can be applied to any power if it seems reasonable. You can, even though it's not listed under the. Are you going to do a burst? Did you say?
Yeah.
So if you look at that, you could add it. Spend 1 extra power point, make it selective, which means you can choose not to affect any one individual target within the power's area of effect.
Oh, actually, this is a blast, not a burst.
Oh, okay. So you can just. That's a medium burst.
I can just aim it at the witch, and it should explode around her.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The zombies.
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
You are
my sacrifice isn't needed.
I appreciate your willingness to sacrifice yourself. There. I'll buy a beer for that. All right. So, I fire this bolt of energy. It just kind of it gets to the center of where they are, hovers for a second, and then explodes.
see how it goes. Wow.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, that's a success with a raise. So did you add extra damage? I don't.
No,
Okay.
because I'm getting low on PPs.
So you do 3d6 damage. So 10. All right.
Wow.
So
That's
that's
great.
enough to That's enough to do a wound on the Ravenmocker Witch. Because it does not have anything that can prevent that, I don't believe. Nope. All right. So it is wounded now. Go ahead and mark that down.
Does that hit the zombies?
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to aim the zombies too.
Yeah.
So 10 damage against the zombies, which has a toughness of 7 because they're zombies. They are both shaken.
Nice.
Even slower than normal zombies.
Yeah, now they're just standing there dumbfounded even more so. So everybody in that room is shaken, and the Ravenmocker Witch is wounded. Good job.
Thanks.
And now it
Yeah.
is the Raven Witch's turn. So she will make her spirit check to see if she can become unshaken, which she succeeds. Although that was at -1 because she is wounded, but that's a 6. It didn't take. Oh, I didn't mark the wound here. Where do I mark the wound? There it is, 1. All right. So she is no longer shaken, just wounded. How do I'll put that like that. All right. All right. So she is. What does she want to do? She is going to, I think she's going to walk forward to in between her zombies, and I don't think she likes the light resolution. So
Sense.
she is going, but she's not dumb. She's not going to walk up and get punched either.
Mm-hmm.
So actually she's going to stay back, and instead she releases a shadowy bolt from her hand that flies out at you.
So I have dodge,
All right.
which affects range, which means she takes -2 to all ranged attacks made against me.
All right, so let's see her. This is just a shooting roll. Doesn't matter. I'm going to spend a Benny on that one because
Total of -3. So yeah, that's not great for her.
Good. Spend all your bennies.
I will.
Get rid of them. Get
That's-
rid of them
Still,
quick.
oh my god, still have so many.
Okay, so that's a 5 because you have the dodge, which is a -2, but 5 is a hit on a ranged
Still
attack.
hits, yeah.
All right, so she's going to. That's just. Whoops, that's the wrong number. Ooh boy, you wouldn't have liked that. I accidentally wrote 21d4 or d6 instead of 2d6. All right.
Woof.
So there's the damage. It's 7. What is your toughness?
Okay. So without the armor, let's erase that armor. So I'm at 5.
All right.
My armor's at 5, which means that's it's just shaken, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead. I mean, I was just going to do the rest of her turn, but did you
Okay.
have something you wanted to say in response, or is there?
No, I'm not. I take the hit. I'm shaken.
All right. So she is going to try to do a natural healing roll, which is a vigor check. She gets to do this every round to try to recover a wound. That's her. That's her cool thing. She fails. All right.
Okay.
It is now the zombies' turn. They're both shaken. Let's see if they can unshake. Here's number 1. Here's number 2. 1 fails, 1 succeeds.
Okay.
So this one succeeds, and it is going to shamble forward to you. Brother Lucian, go ahead and take your first strike.
Heck yeah. All right.
Ooh, that's a hit, and that is a hit with a raise.
Ooh, perfect.
Nice.
Okay. Let me double check if this has anything to do.
They're pretty tough,
It
zombies.
doesn't do anything. Yeah.
They're
Well, I was
unarmed.
just looking at my holy warrior edge, but I don't think that actually does anything for me right now. Okay, so I'll roll the damage, which is.
All right, so that's a hit. That's
14.
a hit with two raises.
Jeez Louise.
Describe
All right.
destroying this one punch man, this zombie here.
So okay. So I like moved forward to confront this witch, and the zombie like shambles forward, and as it lurches towards me, I duck to the side and then uppercut it, striking it in its skull and shattering it with like the holy light that I'm emitting.
Nice.
Plow. The zombie's remains tumble to the ground at your feet, and the Raven Witch hisses. All right, new cards for everyone.
All right.
And let's see how Henrik does. 6. All right, well, that doesn't really change anything. So it looks like Sabella is actually Lucian is up, and then Sabella.
Oh, okay.
And then
Right.
the Raven Witch, and then Sir Henrik, and then the zombie.
Okay, so I have been foolishly ignoring the fact that I am two-fisted, which would allow me to
Yes.
strike twice in an action. So I will take advantage of that this time.
Yeah.
I will move forward, and I'm going to strike at this zombie.
All right.
I will do one attack at a time just in case I somehow miraculously taking down one hit again.
Okay.
So for the first strike,
That's a hit, not a raise, though.
the hit, not a raise. Let's roll damage.
Another one shot.
Jeez Louise. Okay, I take out. So I destroyed the first zombie's head, rush forward, and just like spin kick the other zombie, and then I think I still have. Do I have movement still? Can I do it?
You can split your
Yeah.
movement. So.
And I will rush forward to deal the final blow. Well, my final blow. I mean,
Well, you
it'd be
keep
nice
rolling
if
like
it's also
that.
hers.
We'll see.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, let's go. Oh.
No, not this time.
I'm not gonna spend my last penny on this, so I go into I throw my last punch. She dodges out of the way.
All right. So yes, she just looks down at you with contempt. Sabella, brother Lucian, on fire with the holy light. He kicks ass for the Lord.
He sure does. I'm like, I'd give you a high five, but I'm not getting that close.
No need.
I'm gonna stand over here. Actually, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go there, and then I'm going to do a bolt. I don't have enough power points to do extra damage, so I'm doing a regular one.
All right. You can always spend a Benny to get 5 power points.
I can.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to save like a couple bennies just in case.
that is true.
So bolt. Wait, where'd it go? Boop.
Success. And a raise.
Yeah. So
Nice.
19. Okay,
then
let's see.
Because I got a raise.
So 24. All right. So its toughness is 10. So that's a hit and 3 raises. Now it does have this, but this isn't. I mean, does this count as a ranged attack?
Yeah.
I guess.
The
Okay,
bolt
so then
is
that's
ranged.
a 23, which is still a hit and 3 raises. So it doesn't matter. That's probably not going to matter.
No.
That's not going to matter.
I mean, she ignores 1 point of wound penalties.
Right, but you just did.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter here.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
Except
one
it don't matter if she spends bennies to unshake or to
soak.
soak.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing she
Yeah,
can do.
that is. Oof, that's
So let
good.
me. So all right. So
Send-
that's.
send
Hey, I
those
would be
bennies.
fine if you take her out right now. That's fine. That's part of the fun. That's one of the things that's great about Savage Worlds with these exploding dice. All right. So she is going to spend a Benny and see if she can soak some of these wounds. So and she'll spend both of them to survive. So this is going to be a soak roll. Here we go.
Bonus 2.
Yeah, she gets +2 to this because, whoops, that's a 10.
Oh.
All right, so she rolled a 12, which is 2. So, and in that case, she a success in each raise. So that's 3 wounds she just soaked.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Such a good hit, but you did burn her Benny.
Yeah. And she's shaken.
She's shaken.
Well, wait.
Oh, no, she's not, because she soaked all of the wounds.
She soaked them all, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
So she, you shoot this ice bolt, and it strikes her, and it does, this would just destroy a normal person, but the shadow from around her swirls around and kind of reforms her body again. And you can see, burning red fire in her eyes as she stares at you. Fire, I might add.
Fire. Kill it.
So... That was a powerful attack, but the Raven Witch is not finished. So she has you right in front of her, and so she that smoke, that shadow begins to swirl around her, and it begins to take solid form and whip into your flesh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's the wrong number. You'll see it. Remember I said 21. I had 20. I was looking at the wrong thing. I had accidentally put 21.
21 D4. No.
Well, it's good knowing you. Now let's try again. Let's try this again.
You
please do.
Rolled a lot of 4s.
I did.
Okay, so how does this work?
So this is like an aura around her. So if you're in melee, if you're adjacent, you automatically take 2d4 damage. So that's just against your toughness.
All right, my toughness is 5 right now, so that is 10, which is I'm shaken and wounded.
Yes. So you can spend a Benny, your last Benny, to try to soak it, or you can just take the shaken wound. Your call.
Let's do it. I'm going to soak it.
All right.
All right. So then I roll the spear figure.
Yeah. There's also an unsoak button on your.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right. Well. So that is a fail.
All right. So I am wounded. I am shaken. I am wounded. Yep. Okay, I've taken 1 wound. All right.
And here we thought this was going to be easy.
So let me get rid of that last card of mine.
All right.
I was really hoping that laser beam would deal with this for us.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, oh man, yeah.
All right, so it is Sir Henrik's turn. It looks like the zombies have been dropped. Brother Lucian, though, is kind of being consumed by this swirl of shadow that you won't have to enter in order to attack with the reach of your spear.
Yeah, I'm just going to charge forward and get to work.
Yep. That is a hit.
That is,
with a raise. Oh, no. Parry is 9.
No.
Parry is 9. Also, no gang up.
11.
All right. That is enough to, that beats the toughness. And she's not shaken, but she is now.
All right. And Frenzy?
18. A hit with a raise.
2 raises. Oh, well, only the first raise matters.
Yeah. So 15. That is a wound.
50.
All right.
Yep. All right.
Shaken and 2 wounds. Looking rough. All right. It is, that was a successful turn. Brother Lucian. Oh, no. We're at the top of the order. I need new cards.
Yeah. New cards.
Where's the jokers here? All right, so.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Ooh, I like it that she's at the bottom.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
I like that.
Maybe I should I spend my last Benny to draw a new card?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah,
No,
do it.
I'm going to save that for another epic soak.
Very fair. I'm gonna keep going for the stabbing's been working pretty well for me.
That's a hit.
Yeah,
No
that's a
raise
hit.
this time. That
7,
does not
that's
do
nothing.
it. And
Yeah. Swing again.
that
I
one's,
will spend my last penny to re-roll that.
and that mattered because the 9 is enough. That's the parry number. So you hit.
Oh wait, sorry. That I accidentally rolled damage instead of rolling the attack again.
Okay,
bad.
11. All right.
11.
That hits.
Still
Okay.
great.
Alas,
Hey.
though, the damage was not enough to
Yeah.
pierce her tough hide, her shadowy form. Brother Lucian, you are shaken. Please make your spirit check.
Let's make that spirit check.
Spirit test.
Okay, so I am Holy Warrior, which means I can spend power points to add to my soak roll.
Soak.
and-
Yeah, okay.
Oh, to my soak. Never mind.
Yeah, that's spirit.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll spirits straight up. All right, let's hope. Boy.
Okay, that's 2 2s. That's not a crit fail.
No, yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yep, and you have no more bennies.
There's no my buddies. I am being overwhelmed by this darkness.
Ah,
I can still move though, right?
Yeah, you could move out of it. She would get a swipe at you.
That's probably better than taking more damage from that
Shadow
aura.
right.
So I will move over here.
All right.
Is that out of the aura?
It is. The aura is just around her.
Okay. All right. So out of melee.
You can see I
Or
put a
like
little.
immediate melee.
I put the shadowy aura up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely see it. Okay, so I moved out. I staggered back, but it's still in range. Or she still gets an attack on
Yep.
me.
So she's gonna just take a claw at you. With her. Oops! I just rolled damage, not attack. My bad. Try again. 8 beats your parry. Yes.
It does. Yeah.
So let me roll damage. Whoops! Only the first one counts. 8. So that's
gosh. I'm wounded.
you take a.
So I'm
wound.
shaken. So I take another wound because it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
All right. Ouch.
Oof. Okay, so I'm down to 2 wounds.
oh no.
Taking 2 wounds.
Sabella, the Raven Mocker Witch, badly injured, slashes at Brother Lucian as he tries to flee the shadowy aura.
Lucian, how dare you, fire witch? And I'm like, pew pew pew, and I shoot another bolt at her. With my last power point.
That's hit. Oh.
Boom. 13.
All right, so her toughness is 10, so that's not quite a raise.
Is she shaken?
Yes. So that would be her third wound. So I'm going to have to
Nice.
spend my last Benny.
Do you get attack of opportunities when you're shaken?
Oh, you know what? You might not.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember.
So,
Yeah.
because you can't take actions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
was
it's a free action, but
It might, yeah, I'd have to, let's see if she survives this attack.
yeah,
'Cause she has-
I'm fine taking it.
I actually don't remember if that's a free action or not.
Mhm.
All right, so she is going to try to soak. Here we go. And she has 2 wounds already, but she can ignore 1 because of undead.
Mhm.
So she is at -1 to this roll. Oh, I think she made it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oof.
But that's the last Benny. So yeah, I don't remember if opportunity attack is one you can. Let's just say, well, okay. Let's leave the
I'm
wound.
taking it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's leave the wound for now. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's her turn now, the Raven Witch's turn, and she's just gonna move right here.
Nah.
so that she gets both of you in the shadowy aura.
So does any
okay.
movement in reach trigger an opportunity attack, or is it just moving out?
I think it's extraction. It's when you move
Got it.
out of, right?
All right. But Lucian gets his swing with first strike. 'cause
So
he just moved in.
he does. So Lucian, she's
Okay.
moved in your range.
All right, let's
She's
hope for
taking
the
that
best.
risk. Oh,
12.
a hit with a raise.
Nice.
Staggering from the shadows, overwhelming me again. I desperately fire one punch in there. Not much.
Alas.
Ugh, not good
This
enough.
is one of these where, can you give your Benny to somebody else?
Only. All right,
5.
5 damage, not enough,
No.
but
All right.
it's okay.
She's going to swing at Sir Henrik because that is clearly the more important threat right now. Her claw. See how she does. It's going to look like a 9. What's your parry?
I'm parry 11.
Yeah, that spear, the
Spear's
trademark weapon, I might add,
Yep.
knocks her sharp claws away. One problem, though, she is going to try to do this.
Ooh,
Oh,
right.
okay.
Oh, so the light spell doesn't count as sunlight?
That's a good question.
I don't think so, but
How about
Got it.
this?
I'll check.
You worship this. Let's go ahead and make a faith check.
okay, cool.
Because
Yeah.
I should have thought about that when it first was cast. So let's see. If you get a
Okay.
raise, it'll count as sunlight.
With the minuses from the wounds, right? I'm sure it automatically.
It'll automatically do it, yeah. But let's say it's
Cool.
with -1. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. So
Doesn't matter.
that would have been
That's
a
fine.
So it's not sunlight.
Yeah. Okay.
There does seem to be sunlight peeking out from the black inky sphere behind her, though.
Mhm.
But it's not enough to do anything just yet. Does she heal a wound? Yes. All right. That's her turn. Sir Henrik. Oh, no, we're top of the order now.
Top of the order.
All right. This is getting tough. Oh, we've got a red joker.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Sir Henrik, you get a +2.
All right.
Everybody
We
gets
all
a Benny.
get bennies. Oh my god. Thank
Oh, yes.
you.
All right.
I was asking where they were.
Here we go. I'm just going to take the first turn because I want to go before the Raven Queen does, or
Absolutely.
Raven Witch does.
Yeah.
And let's see. First one is 7, and her parry's 9, correct?
Her parry is in fact 9. Yes,
Okay.
because she has improved. She has a improved block.
I'll go for these. I'll just use the Frenzy die, or I'll use my Benny, sure.
Sure. All right, that's a hit.
Oh, wait, sorry, that was the damage, which...
That's
10.
also a hit.
Yeah,
Nice.
and we'll just use that damage I rolled.
Okay.
If that's okay?
Yeah.
Because it's already rolled. Just 11 damage, which is a hit, I
Yep,
think.
that's a hit.
So she hits Shaken again because she unshook on her turn.
Yes, yeah, she unshook, but I didn't take the icon
Yeah.
off, but she's shaking
And
now
then
again.
Frenzy dice. 7, but I have the Joker, so 9. So that is another hit.
It is a hit because the parry is 9. That's exactly what you needed.
Oh
And 11, another hit.
Oh.
All right.
Or another damage.
So there is
that puts
nothing
her
she-
onto her third wound.
She's at her third wound now. There is not much else she can do to resist. Oops, I accidentally rolled a soak. She can't soak, even though she botched
Yep.
it there. So, all right. She is at 3 wounds, which gives her a -2 because she's undead. She is on the edge of death.
And you need to roll that 2d4 damage for her shadow aura, right?
Yes.
Against me. Do I get? Is it armor piercing?
No, it is not.
Okay, so I ignore it.
It is now her turn. Again, seeing you as the enemy. Okay, no, she needs to try to get unshaken.
Yep, and she's got 3 wounds now. So, oh yes.
Great.
All right, so
All
she,
right.
Still shaking.
she is wobbly on her feet. Sibella, the Raven Witch, is on her last legs. What do you do?
Bolt those legs out from under her after spending a Benny so that I can do that.
Right. Spend the Benny for your power points. And then blast away. So you have 5 now. Would you like to
Now I'm gonna add some damage.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
All right.
Bolt, bolt, bolt. So that cost me 3, which means I have 2 left.
All right. Do you want to spend a Benny to hit?
I really do.
Yeah, might as well use them. You've been saving them.
Bolt.
Oh, that's a hit. Not a raise, but a
Yeah.
hit.
All right. But so it's 6 plus 2 anyway because of the extra damage I did.
All right, so that is 8, or is it 10? No, it's 8, right?
It's yeah 8.
All right, so that is not enough to beat her toughness.
Ugh.
Unless you want to spend that last Benny.
Yeah. I mean, she's only got a melee weapon. She's probably not going to stab me. Reroll damage.
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, that beats her toughness. She was already at 3 wounds, even though I hadn't changed the little red icon. Describe it. You defeat her. What does it look like?
So I literally do just like knock the legs out from under her with this bolt of like icicles, ice shards, and they just, they like tear through her legs and she collapses to the ground, and her like horn helmet kind of tries to roll away, but there's horns on it, so it just kind of rocks back and forth.
Right. And she collapses to the ground. The helmet flies off and clatters across the floor. Her body, as she screeches in anger and frustration, slowly starts to melt into the floor and dissipate into shadow. The blackness that's swirling around this sphere above this pedestal at the end in the alcove suddenly just explodes. The bright light of what looks like a little miniature sun just explodes out of the sphere, fills the whole room with incredibly bright light, and the doors behind you kind of are thrown open, and the light drives away all of the ravens that were swarming around all of the darkness, and you have succeeded in defeating the Raven Mocker Witch.
Woo!
And preventing her from extinguishing the sun and plunging the world into everlasting darkness. That's a good thing. The ravens that remain outside have dispersed as the sunlight streams in the doors of the temple and out. The abbot eventually arrives, praises you for saving the first fire and, according to their system of belief, all of humanity. He welcomes you as heroes of the first fire. He offers you free lodging for whenever you like, and indeed is even willing to share some of the artifacts of the faith with you, which are an IOU note to the next time you play with these characters to have a magic item.
Nice.
I'm gonna write that
Wonderful.
down.
Do
I owe you.
I owe you one magic item. And that is the end of our tale. So, good work, everyone. What we do, as usual, is we do a little bit of stars and wishes at the end, asking you if you'd like to highlight anything from the adventure and if there's anything you'd like to see more of. So, who would like to go first? I'll just look at the overlay, and how about we go with you, Bashir? Do you have anything you'd like to star or wish?
I would love to get onto this time slot again. It's not the normal one I do, but this was a lot of fun. Yeah. I think I'd like to know more about the system. Like, I don't have that much experience with Savage Worlds. I would like to know more about the system next time I play so I could engage with it more, since I was generally sticking with pretty basic actions. So on my end, like, I need to grab a copy somewhere once bookstores open up again or something like that and check out, like, just kind of familiarize myself more before I play next time.
Totally fair. Well, there are actually spots open in this slot because we only have 4 normal players here, because whereas you have 6 on Thursday. So switching to this time slot would actually be a nice balance. We'd have 5 and 5. So as long as Shar and Andrew and I'm sure Sharang and Elijah would be fine too. That would be great. You'd be welcome.
You're really fun to play with.
Yeah, I think this is a good good. You guys had a good group together, and yeah, Savage Worlds Adventure Edition available at fine places near you. Yeah, Drive Through RPG and stuff too, if you want to go there.
Yeah. Or like call up your friendly local gaming store and ask them to either like meet you outside the door with the mask on, or like
mail it to you, maybe.
Mail it to you.
Mail it, yeah.
Support local business.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. Shar, what about you? Stars and wishes?
Well, like I said, I really enjoyed playing with Bashir. So welcome to the group, and I hope you come back a lot. And I mean, I liked how evocative the setting is, and the myth of the sun being brought to Earth by a spider being like legit real. I love that.
So, confession, that's not a creation entirely of mine. I often borrow from mythology in my stories, and so this is a mixture of like 3 or 4 different myths, and part of that is inspired by the Cherokee myth that the water spider brought the sun to Earth to dry the water to make the land. So the idea of a spider going into the heavens to get the sun is borrowed. It's not the same, because the spider doesn't get the sun. It brings a star down and it ignites the sun. So it's inspired by those myths. But I
think like having things inspired by real mythology from various cultures is very cool. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to give credit where due. But yeah, it's a fun. Actually, the fun small side note: the way this adventure actually came into being is unusual. Aaron, owner of Sigil Entertainment, showed me the images and said, make an adventure based on these. And so what did I see? I saw this giant stone building suspended from the heavens by chains. I saw some sort of temple with a giant golden door with something that looked like a spider and the sun. And then I saw this raven witch. So that's where it came from, right?
That's awesome.
It's a really fun creative exercise. If you ever want to do an exciting thing or fun kind of creative exercise, take some images and then try and tell a story that makes sense, makes the images make sense. What about you, Bashir? Did you have any stars or wishes? I mean, I guess you kind of. Oh no, I'm sorry. I went in reverse direction. You already did those. Andrew, we're going top to bottom.
Well, I love Savage Worlds, and I will always want to play more of it. And I forget how refreshing, or not refreshing, but how gratifying it is to like have a very action focused adventure. It's like we know what we need to do pretty much the whole way through. We just need to fulfill the actions. And I love the different types of challenges. So like chasing, if we had done like the scaling of the wall, that's like one that I think I would love to see more, is like those types of like race against the clock type of events. Those are, I think it makes what would normally be just like a normal fight scene a lot more interesting. And I definitely like that. So yeah.
Well, great. I'm glad to hear all of that. I appreciate it. I would like to thank all of you for putting up with the adventure that I wrote. That was the first one I wrote for other people, right? So you know how it is. You run games for your friends for many, many years, but writing it for somebody, a stranger, is so different. And so this is always kind of like this adventure is like, one that it's my first one I wrote for public consumption. So I'm simultaneously like love it because it's my first, but also am like kind of embarrassed about it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I would like to play more Savage Worlds 2, actually, in part because it's a fun system that not enough people know about real well, and we have Sigil Entertainment, and has a bunch of Savage Worlds content that we could tap, and with amazing art and great writers, and also me too, in addition to the good writers. So there's that. So I hope we can see some more of that on the stream too. That would be fantastic. All right, well, that's everything for today. I just want to thank everyone for watching. And I guess we will be here next week, and hopefully, Bashir, you're up for joining us. I will say that next week at this stream time, we have a Cypher System adventure scheduled. We're going to do Bug Hunt Part 2, so you'll be joining us, Bashir, in the midst of a story that we will gladly help you, introduce you to. And if you haven't played Cypher System before, it's super simple to pick up as well, and that'll be fun. And then the week after that, we're doing a D&D adventure, and then the week after that, we're open. Maybe we'll do some more Savage Worlds. As I said before, we might be playing more of that in the future. So
short campaigns after that.
I think we might do, maybe a couple session arcs. That might be kind of fun. Stay with the same characters for a while. Maybe we could even revisit these if you want, or you can make your own. We will see what happens. All right, everybody. It has been great. We will see you. The next stream for this show is Thursday at 7 Eastern, and we're going to play Linda Codega's Star Drawn. So tune in for that. They have a good game for us. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.